傲风 M6 旗舰 Pro 按摩遮背小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，硬地机械地。
biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解、任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”。 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
Results, we had some insane upsets. You saw the standings briefly earlier, and now we're diving into our first match of round 2. Team Liquid versus Offside. Oh boy, Papi, let's go. As you saw briefly there, it is Mana versus Euthermal, Cure versus Rex, and Clem versus Firefly. Ooh, here we go, and yeah, Team Liquid coming in with quite a lineup, I should say. Remember, last week we were a little bit concerned. Last week, Clem did not show up. Clem was not a part of the lineup last week, and we were a little bit concerned. We were like, whoa, is something wrong? Maybe something came up for Clem not to be there. But as a reminder, Team Liquid still pulled through. You know, without Clem, with the power of the laser, with the power of Skillus, they did take down Psystorm Na'Vi. Team Liquid are one of the stronger teams in the Team League, especially upon picking up Cure, with the duality that is Cure and Clem, with the support of a laser, with the support of Mana and Skillus. They are a force to be reckoned with. But here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Mana for Team Liquid. Oh. And in the bottom left, we have Euthermal for Offside. Now, Euthermal, he has rolled random. For those that are curious, Euthermal, he was a pro player back in the day. He was a Terran main back in his heyday many years ago at this point, and now Euthermal does compete as random, and he has rolled Protoss. Oh boy. Meanwhile, I believe if you are in the chat, predictions? Yep, predictions are open. If you're in the chat, you have a minute. You have a minute or so to place your bets on who you believe is going to take this best of 2. As a reminder, this is a best of 2, not a best of 3. And this prediction is for this singular back and forth between Mana and Euthermal. We'll have predictions going throughout the broadcast for every single best of 2. And the ace match if we get there. So best of luck with those predictions. But yeah, alas, Euthermal rolling Protoss here. Euthermal, he's also an ex-teammate of Team Liquid. He was once on TL for quite a long time, actually, for many, many years. But nowadays, again, he is off. I mean, he was off on his own. Now he is offside. Not onside anymore. Aye, aye, aye. But we have our PvP. Now we're loading into Post-Youth. Post-Youth is a much larger map of the map pool, known for more macro-oriented play. Despite that, yeah, we should be going for economic openers. Again, it's going to be Gate Expand versus Gate Expand. Both players are making their Zealots. The reason why they're making Zealots is because both players have probes to deny the expansion, to delay with pylon blocks, cyber blocks as well. So the Zealot is required to actually expand. If you want to be economic, if you want to be greedy, you need that Zealot. Behind this, it was double gas before expand as well, so we're going for our tech of choice, Stargate Opener. Now, if this was a standard PvP, I would assume Phoenix Wars. Both players went Stargate, both players scattered each other. Because both players know this, we should be seeing Phoenixes versus Phoenixes. But the reason why I say if this was a standard player, I would expect that. Euthermal is more varied than that. More than anything, as we've been watching and casting Euthermal these past couple of months, and his off races, or I guess I should say his play in general, he's very chaotic, he's very aggressive, he's very all in. So I would not be surprised if Euthermal tries to mix things up and takes up in a different direction after his initial Phoenixes. Speaking of, Phoenixes are on the way. Like, I don't think Euthermal is going to be willing to embrace Phoenix Wars. Something that happened last night, or sorry, 2 nights ago in Kung Fu Cup. If you were here for it, you would know. But we casted Classic versus Max Packs. And Classic, he clowned over Max Packs. It was crazy. We were very impressed with how dominant Classic was looking. And in one of those games, we saw a dynamic where it was this same setup. Both players opened up Stargate, both players opened up Phoenix, and Classic, he hid a Twilight Council, he hid a Dark Shrine, and he was able to slip into DTs while Max Fax was unaware, and then the game ended. The game ended from there. So there are ways to try to catch up and off guard, even if you're entering Phoenix Wars, but it's not easy. Not easy to pull off. We'll see if we embrace it or not. Oh, as the second Adept has arrived, Euthermal. Not able to block that off, not able to stop that. With that, probes are going to be going down. We do get into the main base. One probe falls. But only one, maybe a second worker. But, barely a second probe does fall, but we will clean this up. As Mana does confirm the Phoenixes are on the way. Meanwhile, Mana throwing down a second gateway, and we see why. Okay, I was expecting Euthermal to be the one to deviate, but no. Mana, this is a bold move. He's going for a gateway, he's going for a Twilight Council. It looks like Mana wants to switch into Blink Stalkers. Now, this is a risky thing to do. Again, when you're in the Phoenix Wars like this, Euthermal, he's about to take a Phoenix lead. He does already have a Phoenix lead. He could dive on this army, he could clean this up. And he's going, thinking about it, thinking about that dive. He does see the tech. It looks like he's waiting for reinforcements. Second Stargate has been thrown. Now we dive on the first Phoenix. Good trade here for Euthermal. We knock Mana down to 2 Phoenixes. And this is what is dangerous about... Oh, never mind. I was going to say this is what's dangerous about trying to deviate away from Phoenix Wars is your opponent can overwhelm you and can snowball out of control. And you just lose map control and lose control of your bases as well. But Euthermal, he cancels his second Stargate and he's going into a robo. This tells us that Euthermal, he also, he just saw the blink transition and he wants to respond. Now, this should be responding with Immortal production. This should be like Phoenix Immortal and getting to like a second robo into double Immortal production, for example. It would be a good way to make up for our lack of Blink Stalkers, because Blink would be far too late here if Euthermal tried to take into his own Blink. Thermal, he does slip in, gets an eye on the army, pivots away. There's that first Immortal in production, as we did mention. Again, it's a way to make up for your tech disadvantage or your mobility disadvantage that Mana would have with Blink Stalkers. Just massing up Immortals for his ground army. Still only 1 robo, not getting up to 2 yet. I imagine we're waiting for a 3rd Nexus before we can really afford that. Speaking of a 3rd Nexus, 3rd is delayed. Mana all over Euthermal here. Does shut that probe down. Does delay any kind of expansion. Adept is found. More mortals are on the way. Mana pushing out already here. Oh, this is a risky maneuver. As he moves out, he has not much at home to defend. But Euthermal's out of position. He might get into the middle and he's going to get probe kills. A lot of probes are going to go down, but Mana doesn't care. He's pushing across the map. And what is their home to defend? There's at least one Immortal. I think a second Immortal, maybe. Only one. We dive in the army. The Immortal goes down. The rest of the army as well. Boys are being pulled and we force a recall. We're doing a forcing that recall. Immortal pops out just in time. Phoenixes, they cannot push in though. We have reinforcing pylons. Yeah, 3 stalkers at a time. We do force down the force field. We dive on top of the armor. We focus down the Immortal once again. The Immortal is still alive in the mix of all of that, getting a lot of damage done. Finally, it goes down. Boys are being pulled. Getting very chaotic here, and it looks like Euthermal, he will defend. Yeah, he shuts down the stalkers. The third Immortal has arrived, and we cannot break this. We cannot break Euthermal. But he did lose 6 probes. With that mana, he's expanding back at home. Bearing in mind as well that Euthermal, he spent a lot of energy trying to lift up and break that army, and take some time. These Phoenixes, they're low on energy, they're low on HP, there's not many of them. But we are getting into another Immortal. We're getting into additional Immortal. Doesn't matter. We do trigger the shields. Second Immortal comes out just in time. Good force field. From Euthermal. Phoenixes, they get across the map. They lift up, what is that, 4 probes. But Mana, he wants to go for the kill. Does focus out the Immortal. Gets 1. Boys are being pulled. Can he get the second Immortal in time? It looks like he barely will. Gets the Immortal, focuses down some sentries. Sentries are out of energy, and with this next wave of reinforcements, it looks like Mana is going to have too much to deal with. Again, these sentries, they barely have any energy. We dive on the army. The Immortal does pop, though. Immortal does pop out. We force Mana out of the main base. Euthermal is barely holding on. But again, Euthermal, he barely has any supply or any Phoenixes left to really work with. Nothing for them to really do outside of killing probes, and they will get some worker damage done. Mana still ahead. Oh, we have the Archon as well, getting a lot of damage done. Now, at a certain point, especially with this many Phoenixes, this many sentries, we may have to back off. Yeah, we do go for the recall. We catch the Phoenixes. Late reaction out of Euthermal. Bit of a delayed reaction. 3 Phoenixes survive. And Mana backs off. Oh, and we pull the boys? I'm not so sure about this. Euthermal. Okay, doing his best Terran impression. We're pulling the boys. We're just all in at this point. We are completely all in, and Euthermal knows this, so there's no longevity, there's no coming back in this game. Not anymore. You don't often see probes pulled in this matchup for good reason. We have Archons already, so the probes are going to get annihilated by the Archons. Phoenixes can do well, but likewise, Archons can knock those down as well. We only have 1 Archon, to be fair. If we had 2 or 3, I'd be a little more skeptical of this. Yeah, the overcharge is popped. You can see Euthermal just ram his face up against a brick wall. Mana will not be broken. Not here. Probes are going down. He holds quite comfortably here on top of the ramp. Decent force fields here on the Zealots. Very nicely done. Yeah, but we can break through nonetheless. Yeah, another Archon does arrive. We shut down the force fields. We break through the probes. GG gets called, and Mana will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Mana, bold move is what I will say. It was a bold move for Mana to attempt to go for a transition out of Phoenixes to head into Blink Stalkers, and I was concerned that it wasn't going to work after the first failed push, after he like dove in, got an Immortal, but had to back off. One of the larger maps in the map pool was very macro oriented, but here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have Mana for Team Liquid. And in the top right, we have his opponent, we have Euthermal for offside. Here we go. And we have once again rolled the dice, and ooh, it is a PvP. This is unfortunate for Euthermal. Oh boy. Again, Euthermal, when it comes to specific races and matchups, like I do favor his Terran in general. His Terran is, I would say, his strongest matchup overall. I would say his strongest. Protoss isn't too bad. I would say that his Protoss is his second strongest matchup. But a PvP against Mana is brutal. Like Mana, he is a veteran of the region, of the scene. He's been competing for a very, very long time. Mana here from the beginning, if not almost the beginning of Wings of Liberty. There were even times where he was one of the best players outside of Korea, one of the best foreigners out there, and in a big way did pave the way for the rest of the Polish scene as well to rise up behind him. Did pave the way for players like Geralt, players like Christianer, even players like Spirit, and even Alazer, I would say. So we'll see. We'll see what Euthermal has, as Mana is going for a Gate Expand. Ooh, bold move. So Gate Expand set up here from Mana. Euthermal doing the same. Euthermal going for the gateway on the high ground instead, so the natural's a little bit less protected. It's a little bit more exposed, more vulnerable. And Mana is going for a delayed expansion. He went double gas, so Mana's going for a faster Stargate into a delayed expansion. Euthermal will have a better economy and will have a bit of a later Stargate himself. I'm assuming it's going to be Stargate, but we'll see. Ooh, second gateway. Okay. Second gateway instead, which means this will not be the beginning of Phoenix Wars. It's going to be, I imagine, Blink-based play out of Euthermal. Stargate, of course, out of Mana. With this Stargate, we can go into an Oracle first. And then we'll see where Euthermal goes from here. We shall see. As is that Oracle that we spoke of, Mana now going for his expansion. We're still waiting for the tech of Euthermal. Once he has the gas for it, we can see whether it's a Twilight Council or not. And there it is, Twilight Council opener out of Euthermal. So straight up Blink play from the red Protoss. Mana, he's getting there eventually. I imagine we should be seeing a delayed Twilight Council from Mana or a Robo. We'll see. But now he's waiting for his Oracle. So you can see that Mana has Sword Depths on the left-hand side. He's going to have an Oracle on the right. He's even going for a second Oracle as well. Mana doubling down. Mana, he believes he can try to test the limits of Euthermal's multitasking. Commits to the Shade. Gets one probe, gonna look for a second probe as well. Oracle slips into the main base. There are units in position, thankfully. We focus down probes nonetheless. 6 workers go down. Oof, just barely. Almost getting a 7th shield battery under fire. It's gonna get picked up by the Zealot, actually. Impressive. Zealot gets a shield battery. Adepts get shut down, but good trades here from Mana. I believe he kept his Oracle alive. Yep, he did. 2 Oracles, 1 shot probes. And now they're diving on in. Looking for a way in, but alas, Thermal's in position. Regardless, we get 3 probe kills. You can get a 4th. That's going to be 10 kills in total. 6 earlier, 4 now. Did I say 10? 11, as I believe that other probe was a scouting probe early on. So 11 probe kills in total. Very nice damage dealt here by Mana. And he recalls back home. Behind this, remember, Mana's going for delayed blink. It is a little bit later than his opponent, but it's late by a couple of seconds. Like, not the biggest of deals. Technically, Euthermal does have a timing. He's got like a 20-second timing or so, where he has blink and his opponent doesn't, but not the biggest of deals. And Mana is just setting up back at home, throwing down stasis traps, making better use of his oracles. And it's on Euthermal to try to recover. And what I mean by that is Euthermal, he has a couple of different options. He has to either be really greedy to catch back up economically, he has to harass across the map with the depths or with Blink Stalker play to catch back up economically, or go for an all-in. Like, in a mirror matchup especially, it is brutal taking an economic deficit losing workers. Hallucination comes in, Scout is denied. At least Euthermal does confirm the third. So Euthermal is aware of the third base at least. And he has to make a choice. There it is, going for a third of his own. Okay. Going for our own third base. More stasis traps being set up. Laying traps for Mana to make use of as he moves out. Forge is on the way for +1. Yeah, reinforcing pylon on the right hand side. Mana, he knows that he had the economic lead, and that leads into an army supply lead. And he's pushing. Now there are sentries, there are force fields. Speaking of, we dive on top of the army. Then we focus down Stalker after Stalker. Shield battery doesn't help. We're getting one shot. And Euthermal, he's being overwhelmed. We do have Oracles diving into the natural base as well. Good defense by Euthermal. Does defend. Does hold on to his mineral line, but alas, here, the main force, the main army, it's crumbling. We do barely hold on though. We do barely hold. Mana going for another big wave of reinforcements. You can see Euthermal, he's got charge on the way, he's got +1 on the way as well. The game goes on longer, we can try to recover. As I say that, good target firing here from Mana. Does focus down on almost every single Stalker. There's 3 Stalkers left. And you can see that Mana is just overwhelming. He's just making sure that Euthermal never amasses an army. Making sure that he just has nothing to work with. Upgrades are still on the way for Euthermal. Once again, just one-shotting Stalkers. GG gets called. It's just too much, and Mana will take the series 2-0. A strong lead here for Team Liquid. GG. GG, Bobby Mana. Excited, happy about that win as well. GG, well played. Mana with the 2-0 again. Mana more often than any other tournament because of losers pick. Liquid has 2 ace players. They have Cure and Clem. But here we go in the bottom left-hand corner. We have Cure for Team Liquid. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player Rex for Offside. Go Rex. Oh, Sheldon's here, Bobby. Oh my god. Where's the GeoGuessr? Where's the GeoGuessr? Give Spanish intro. No, Bobby, no. No Spanish intro today. But for now, we're settling in. Again, we're on Alkion. It's one of the larger, more macro-oriented maps in the map pool. I don't expect anything too crazy here in game number 1, but we'll see. We'll see what Rex has to offer. I'm ready. I'm excited. For now, it's going to be a Hatch Gas pool, a standard opener here from our Red Zerg player. Likewise, Cure going for his standard opener as well. There's no proxies, there's no like 2 racks Reaper or 3 racks Reaper or anything like that. We're just settling on in game number 1. And as we settle in, a big shout out to our sponsors as well of the tournament. Shout out to Bio, Autofull, Doyu, and SC Boy. Without them, we wouldn't have all these amazing tournaments. We wouldn't have WTL, wouldn't have Kung Fu Cup, wouldn't have Masters Coliseum. We would not have Stars of War 11 either. Gee, again, there's a lot of events coming in thanks to SC Boy and their sponsors. So much love, much love. Always much love to SC Boy and their team. They do a lot for StarCraft. They do quite a bit. As we're settling into our game here, again, we have our rack expand CCs on the way. Rex still getting to his own opener as well. We're going to see a bit of a dance between the Reaper and the units of Rex. And Cure is going to be doing his best to try and disrupt the economy, disrupt the third base. But overall, we should be able to settle into our game. Speaking of, I do remember Rex popping off the previous week against Mystery Gaming as well. It didn't look too bad against Cyan, as that was last week. But for now, here we go. The Reaper does dip in. Just dancing with those lings. I say that I may have just blinked at the wrong moment. Did we kill a drone? I think one worker did go down, so an unfortunate pickoff there for Rex. Not the best start there, but not the biggest of deals. Behind this, we do have Link Speed on the way. Akira going for his third CC before Starport, so an economic follow-up here from our Terran player. Does get eyes on the third, but at least the third is up and running. Is going to be disturbed too much. And Akira's just trying to get a read on Rex. Speaking of Rex coming into this series, coming into Cure, I'm sure he's coming in with a plan. There are a couple of different kind of playstyles you can approach in ZVT. You can go Roach based, you can go Roach Ravager into something like a Lurker transition. Later on, you go Lingbane into Ultras, Lingbane Hydra, a more standard combination or a more standard composition as well. We have seen Rex indulge in Roaches before, many a time actually, even in Mutas as well. So I'm not leaving that off the table, as Cure is going for a 3cc into Banshee, as standard can be. Cure is playing very by the book. It's Hellions and Reapers that hit the field, they clean up the links, being active on the map. Meanwhile, Rex just droning up and trying to maintain himself and try to defend against the initial Hellion Reaper. So far, so good. Waiting for you, Papi. Ah, Papi. One day, we'll play GeoGuessr again. As Kira rotates around, gets a tumor. Not bad. Does manage to get a tumor. More Hellions are amassing. Lair first here from Rex, but that's a 4-minute 30 lair timing. Shouldn't be for anything too crazy. Imagine just lair first, into a Bailey Nest, into 1-1 Evo Chambers. As we do see Cure is investing into Cloak, and is not playing mech, thankfully. We have seen Cure play mech before, but not here, not tonight. So Rex isn't cutting any corners, he's playing pretty straight up. What I mean by that is that Rex had the option to perhaps go into double Evo Chamber, instead of going for the fast lair, or the 4-minute 30 lair timing. Instead, again, lair first, into a Bailey Nest, into Bailing Speed, into delayed 1-1 upgrades. Rex just making sure it doesn't get caught off guard. Likewise, Banshee's moving out on the right hand side. Looks like they will come across the 4th base. But there are Queens in position, we have an Overseer in production as well, we should be okay. Yeah, the Banshees are revealed. But you do get a couple of hits in, but Rex is in position. To defend, there's that double Evo Chamber that we spoke about. There's that Bathing Speed that we spoke about as well. We are lacking Queens in the main. We'll get some damage done. But overall, Rex is holding his own. Is holding his own here. Bobby means buddy, my man. Bobby means, as Kuro is stating in the chat, as Seki is stating in the chat, it directly translates to something like daddy. But Bobby is used kind of like bro. Like when you say bro in English, you don't mean brother. Like you don't mean, oh, you're like, you know, my actual brother. But like that's kind of what it means. It's like a friendly term, you know. If that's what you mean. As we do see Cure pushing through the center, amassing his marine or his bio tank. Behind this, Stim is done. Combat Shield is on the way. 1-1 about to finish up. As Cure is taking his 3rd base. He's now going to be committing to his push. Again, we've had kind of like a passive start to the game. Like, oh, some light Banshee harass, some light Hellion harass. But here comes the main push through the right-hand side towards the 4th hatchery. Base tanks, they do siege up at the same time. Rex setting out a lot of links here for a counterattack. They get sent out towards the left-hand side. The bio doesn't get much done, but we have plenty of reinforcements back at home. Kira, he is waiting for the push, for the aggression. Ooh. He's paying attention as well. Good target firing on those banelings. Curie shuts down the counterattack, and Rex has to focus everything here on this main defense. Rallying his Ling Bane. Hydras are on the way. And can Rex deal with this before the reinforcements get to Kira's army? So far, Rex once again going for another counterattack. Does distract some of those reinforcements, keeping Kira back. He's amassing more Ling Bane. There is only the one tank here for Cure, but there are Hellbats to support. Rex setting up a surround. Yeah, and Rex, he should collapse on this. Plenty of Ling Bane. The Hellbats, they can be a nuisance against the Lings, but the Banelings, they crash on it. We shut down the push. At the same time, Cure going for a double drop on the right and the left-hand side. Oh, he's going for the 5th. He's going for the 5th base, and it's going to be cancelled. I assumed... Oh, I think that was a kill. I think that was a kill in the hatchery. Uh-oh. As guys, it goes down. So far, Rexy is keeping up. As I say that, good target firing. 7 drones go down. And Curie does pick up. He is pulling Rex apart quite a bit here. Ay. With that, Curie takes an economic lead. His macro is still untouched behind this, just rallying across the map. He's got 3 forces out. A drop outside the main, a drop outside the 5th. Now he's pushing in towards the gold. Oh, the mine shots! Good splits by Rex. He does avoid disaster there with those widow mines. Kiora consolidating his army. Oh, never mind, still going for that tri-pronged attack. You can see on the minimap another force moving out to reinforce as well. Another wave of units on the way. And there are no lurkers, bear that in mind. It's just Lingbane Hydra and very limited crease spread. Rex getting in position here at the gold. Scan does reveal the Banelings. Pure pushes in. Banelings roll in. How good are the mine shots? They are good. Oh my god, the connections! Massive connections to Lingbane. The most of the bio does escape, does get away. And Curie's maxed. He's maxed out. Rex struggling to max out himself. Drop coming in, shutting down some creep. And the mine shots were insane. 3 threes on the way. And we're getting into ghost production. Cure, he's getting ready for would-be lurkers. Lurkers or ultras. But really, it's none on the way here for Rex. He's not there yet. And Cure is. There we go. The drop outside the main base finally becoming active. And distracting Rex. Gets a gas geyser. We get a kill on the gold base. Good target firing. Ling's going down. A very nice trade there for Curie. Shuts down every single Ling. Rex stuck on 4 bases. Curie's taking his own 5th. It's not just a 5th, by the way. Curie's taking a gold. The gold base is getting up and running here for Cure. Hive just started up for Rex. Again, if Rex can somehow get to Lurker tank, he can hold. Lurker Den is on the way. Oh my god, Cure. The target firing once again. Snipes the Baneling, shuts down the Lings. Forces Rex back. And that Lurker Den, it feels a little bit too late here. Did need to see that up and running a little bit sooner. Regardless, can Rex buy time? As the 5th base is going to be denied once again. The mine shots! Ooh, big connections. Ay. Insane connections on the Lingbane. I think that's another kill in the hatchery, by the way, on that 5th. Cure just relentless here in his aggression. Nuke is on the way. I don't even think we need nukes, but sure, why not? Nuke is in production. Cyclone's on the way. Part of me feels like that might be a bit of a mistake. That's another kill, not again. I think that's the 3rd kill on the hatchery. But sure, we have some Cyclones on the way. Neil Steel frames, high-sec auto tracking. I'm pretty sure those are meant to be more Widow Mines, but it's fine. As Rex is finally shutting down some of these medevacs. Speaking of, medevac goes down. We clean up the Marines. But at this point, Curie doesn't care. Does take some banelings to the face. Not the best trade from Cure, but he will break this gold once again. Containing Rex to 4 bases. Never allowing him to expand. And there's that nuke. We are making use of it. Going for the natural. Decent surround there by Rex, but Curie just lifts up. He gets away. Rex, he does notice the nuke. He will pull back. But regardless, we're still stretching the attention of Rex thin. Is barely holding on. Impressive that he has held on for now. Like, he's been able to deflect enough pushes to survive. And I mean, Hayes once again getting his 5th base up and running on the left-hand side. This time it looks like it should get up. But Curie's still max. He's getting into Liberator production behind this. As we mentioned before, at this point, even if we did make a wave of lurkers, it wouldn't matter. We have Ghosts, we have Libs. Liberator range is on the way. 3-3 as well, or already done. Getting into +3 vehicle plating. Now what's interesting is that Cure this entire game has never gone for like a frontal assault. He hasn't like consolidated his army and gone for a main push. He's been going for these split pushes perpetually throughout the entire game. And I mean, it's working. But that's why he has been able to just have a decisive fight where he can just break Rex and keep pushing. Ooh, once again, massive mine shot. But he has just been picking away at the flanks of Rex. Once again, that's what, a 4th kill on the hatchery? Ay, ay, ay. I've lost, it's either 4 or 5 at this point. I'm so counting. Oh no. We have a Nidus on the way. Let's go! Rex has a Hail Mary play, going for the Nidus across the map. With the Mass Lurker. If he can somehow maybe get into the main base, maybe get on top of the production, it's possible. Yeah, there's that Overseer. The Overseer is being active. Ooh, does take a mine shot to the face. I was pushing forward. There we go. Nidus into the natural. Well, the best we can hope for is a base trade. It's the best we can hope for. So we do collapse on the army. Big mine shots going off in the Lings. Oh my god. Lurkers, they do come in across the map. We have liberation zones. We have freedom. The freedom is here. The freedom is everywhere across the map and back at home. Yeah, liberation zones are set up. They annihilate. They rain down on the Lingbane Hydra and the Lurkers as well. And there's just no good. There's no good answer. There's no good answer to libs. There's no Vipers, no Corruptors. Lurkers desperately busting into the main base, doing what they can, and they are getting damage done. They get 15 SCVs. Is good damage, but there's no way out for these Lurkers. It is a one-way trip. And Curie just keeps pushing across the map. Again, this is the best case scenario for Rex. Is trying to force a base trade, but oh my god, so many Lurkers go down. One Lurker survives, and even then, will fall. Here come the Vipers. We get 2 of those libs. But where is the Libbane? Libbane? Lingbane even. GG gets called, and Cure will take game number 1. GG. A solid performance there out of Cure. Rex, really, he was fighting to survive more so than anything, and he was holding, he was surviving, he was able to... I'm ready for it. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have Cure for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have Rex for Offside. Here we go. Catching him in the chat. Light is all of our daddy. Because no pull out. You're an animal, Papi. I haven't streamed in so long. A lot of people probably don't understand what that even means. Is it a command here? Exclamation mark pull out. Oh, it's not, thankfully. It's fine, Papi, it's fine. Leave it ambiguous. As I steadily into our game, it's going to be a hatch gas pull. Once again, standard open out of Rex. I mainly keep my eye on Rex. Mainly my eyes on our Zerg player here, as they are the underdog coming into this. It is on Rex to punch up. I'm ready. I'm excited. That one works, though. True, true. Light has only one way, and that's in. Oh, I feel like I have to explain myself. There's a meme in my channel, so I do stream, or I used to stream on my personal channel, Live VIP on Twitch, and I haven't streamed in like over a month. I haven't had the time to ladder, unfortunately. I miss it. I'll ladder again one day. But pull out refers to pulling out of gas. That's what it refers to. Like when you play Zerg, in a lot of matchups, at times you're meant to pull out. You're meant to pull out at certain supplies or certain timings to be more efficient. And I was so awful at pulling out, it became a meme. It sounds weird. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what it's in reference to. And there's a command on my channel for exclamation mark pull out. It's true. But for now, Reaper dips in, dancing with the Lings. If you remember in game 1, we did get one drone kill, but this time, Rex, he will defend, he will secure his position. Reaper gets zoned away. Cure behind this, going for a third CC before starport. Going for a 3 CC opener, very economic. Exactly, yes, the sound. Shaking my head, shaking my head. Look, it's not so easy pulling out, okay? It's not easy, Pat. Aye. It's harder than it looks. As, once again, the same build. Cure is going for the exact same build 2 games in a row. Third CC into a starport, into I imagine Banshee play. Which is kind of what we expected out of Cure. Like, no big deviation from him. He is the favorite player coming into this. No reason to really mix things up too much. As we're just pointing out here, yeah, the starport on the way, there's a tech lab on the racks. Should be going for an add-on swap for the eventual Banshee play, which will make a lot of sense, especially if you fear Roach-based like aggression. Banshees are ideal against that, to shut any kind of Roach play down. As Rex is going for an earlier lair. Oh, that is a 3:55 lair timing, by the way. If you remember, for a bit of context or a comparison, last game was a 4:30 lair timing. 4:30 lair timing to get into a Bailey nest halfway through. Here, much earlier lair, much earlier nest. I'm curious what this is going to be for, though. Like, again, you wouldn't invest this quickly into a lair without good reason. We're taking 4 gases, 2 base muta. Are we feeling 2 base muta, papi? Aha. Rex? I mean, we have the gas for it. We haven't gone into any Evo chambers. Rex is amassing a lot of gas. Show us the Spire! This is when he just does something crazy. He goes for a devastation whip with, like, Swarm Host or something. True. But there we go. The lair is now done. We have the gas for it. And show us the tech. Show us what you got. As Rex is droning, Hellions rotating around. We should be throwing down either a Spire or a Hydroden or anything at this point. There it is. There's a Spire. Okay. Spire gets thrown down. I think it's in the natural. There is a building in the main. To be fair, I'm not quite certain where it is. There it is. There we go. It's in the natural. So the Spire has been thrown down. It is going to be 2 base muta. Again, with the fast lair. That's kind of what we assumed. And Cure is in the dark. Cure, he is unaware of what is going on, for now at least. Banshees are soon going to be pushing in. Hellions have been very passive. Cure, he's barely tried to push into a mineral line or push into a base, so Cure is working with very incomplete information. Cure is still piecing it together. So far, Rex is doing a good job at keeping him in the dark. Achievements are being shut down. Alien Banshee rocking up. Now, what's scary here is that I believe Cure is still going for a push at 7 minutes. Just like the last game, I believe with Stim, with the first tank, with Marines, and even Hellbats, we are going to be pushing in. As the hatchery takes a lot of hits. Up! Up! Can we get it? Whew, we cannot. The hatchery does survive. Just barely, and mutas are on the way. Just before the 7-minute push. Okay. You have my attention. Here we go. So 10 mutas are in production. They're going to be getting across the map. It's going to be close here as Cure is going to be getting ready for his own push. There it is. We spoke about it before, but this is the same push he went for in game 1. We're going to have Hellbats to work with. We're going to have Marines, tanks. There's that second... sorry, there's the armory on the way. Now, as Cure moves out, Rex is going to be moving in. Now, mutas, they struggle to defend against these earlier pushes, so we need to use them to harass, and ideally we force Cure to turn back around and come back home. And the mutas, they come in! SCVs are going down! And what is it to defend? A handful of Marines. A decent amount of them, to be fair. We collapse on top of this. Marines are going down. We force Cure to turn around. He does race back home. This is what Rex wanted, what he needed. And we're not done. 7, 8, 9, 10 SCVs going down here in the natural. Rex, he's popping up. Oh, he has to be careful. Does have to take care here. 13 SCVs go down. And again, it's not just 13 SCVs, it's also Cure racing and turning his entire army around. It means that Rex, his 4th base, is safe back at home. He's getting into his 5th. He's droning up. Getting into his Ling Bane. Now remember, Rex's upgrades have been delayed in favor of this. Bailings, did you roll in though? Yeah, they bust into the mineral line. SCVs and mules going down. 19 workers fall. And the tank. Oh my god. Did I say 19? 25 SCVs go down. Cure with a massive supply block as well. We get on top of the medevac. We don't quite get it. But again, Cure caught completely with his pants down. And this is Rex's moment. Ooh, we'll bleed out a muta. Bit of a misstep there. But Cure, he's in trouble. Cure is in a lot of trouble right now. Rex going for the gold? He's crazy. Calm down. Oh my god. But yeah, he's just amassing more Ling Bane. It looks like Rex is ready for a counterattack. He's assuming that Cure is going to be pushing. The Cure is all in. So we're just getting ready for the counterattack right now. Now is not the time to go across the map with Banelings. He is going out with mutas. Yeah, but Cure is committed. Hellbats are morphing in. Tank does siege, and we're going for the hatchery. At the same time, ooh, one muta goes down. Wings, they come in for the run by. Nothing to defend. SCVs are falling. And the mutas, they take control of the 3rd base. Now, Rex may have lost the base, but it doesn't matter. That hatchery did not matter. He saw 4 bases compared to the 2-base setup of Cure. Rex, that's a lot of Banelings. We have to make them count. See Rex trying to catch reinforcements. Cure is still committed. And Rex knows that. He knows that all he has to do is defend. All he has to do is survive. Thor has arrived. Cure supply blocked as well. Aye, aye, aye. Rex, he's so close. He catches a tank. The tank. Oh, God. Quick moves there on a Cure. Does get away. Doesn't manage to get away in the end. We can see Rex setting up first round as well. Yes, be careful, there are Widow Mines involved. We saw how brutal those mines can be in game 1. How devastating they are. We do catch the Thor. On the mine shots. Decent connection on some of the Banelings. Decent mine shot. 1 Thor does go down. But again, Cure, even though he's down in supply, he has a more efficient army. He has a very efficient army with 2-2. You have to be careful when Cure, he gets a base. Ooh, he gets the 4th. That is pretty huge, actually. Does collapse on that 4th hatchery. We can see Rex going across the map. Cure arguably has a better economy than Rex. It's 3 base versus 3 base. Rex trying to get a 4th. That 3rd is getting up and running. We have to do something about it. There are so many mines, though. Yeah, the mine shots go off. We get into the mineral line. Yeah, very necessary damage. Rex, he annihilates that middle line. 12, 13, 14 SCVs go down. So at least Kira is still only on a 2 base economy, not 3. Very important here for Rex. Gets 15 SCVs. More Thors are amassing. We can see Kira pushing out once again. Remember, his goal is to just contain Rex to 3 bases. Or just commit. Big Thor volley. Kira gets caught. Does siege. Only one tank, not many Widow Mines. Not any Widow Mines, actually. Oh, they're back at home. The Widow Mines are back at home. Rex does have to take care. Oh, you can see Kira catching up in army supply. He has been very efficient with his army. He's been building it up. Kira has a supply lead. Uh-oh. Kira, he has the army supply lead. Rex is in a bit of trouble. That 4th base is going to go down. Rex, he cannot contest. He has to give it up. Yeah, counter-attacking is his best bet. Mine shot. Oh! Doesn't quite go up. There we go. Forcing friendly fire. Ooh, big mine shot there on the detection, on the Overseer. But it looks like we do take control of the 3rd. Turret goes down. Banshees finally go down as well, this time with detection. Yeah, clean micro there out of Rex, pulling away. Forcing back the entire army. And what's important here is that Rex, this time he didn't just kill workers, he also cleaned up Widow Mines, got the Banshees. What's scary though is that looking at Kira's army, he can still A-move. Or I should say, he can still all-in. He can still all-in and still win with it. Like, this is still a very tense game. But again, shout out to Rex for making it tense, for making it close. We spoke about it. The advantage of the loser's pick. Rex came in with a plan, came in with 2 base muta. Did pay off. But he hasn't won yet. Oof. That muta goes down, we catch some lings. Rex bleeding out quite a bit here. We can see Kira expanding towards the left-hand side instead. Taking the linear 3rd. Oh! We catch more mutas. Ooh, these are rough losses. These are expensive losses here for Rex. You can see that Rex is burning through his bank. That's a lot of Bailings. That is a lot. That's like 1-to-1. Bailing for Marine. But I can also see those Bailings dying to a couple of mine shots. Like, this is... This is still going to be close. Marines get shut down. Kira pushing on 2 fronts. He kills the 4th hatchery once again. Rex in trouble. Kira, he's down to 38 SCVs. Oh, and here we go. Kira pulling back, going for a drop into the main. We do catch some Marines. Good pickoffs here by Rex. Good pickoffs. And remember, this is Kira with 3-3, by the way. Rex is only just now working on his hive. So Rex, he has the upgrade. Sorry, Kira has the upgrade advantage. Kira has the army supply lead. Oh, we catch out more mutas. Oh, this is not a good start. Rex. And because of the rush distance by ground, it doesn't take long at all to reinforce. Rex going almost pure bane. Hoping to catch the army of creep. And we're committing. It's all or nothing. Baileys, they roll on in. They collapse on the Marines. Mine shots go up. Decent connections, but it was only the 1 Widow Mine. We clean up the tanks, we clean up the Thors. Yeah, Kira does not have enough. Most of the Widow Mines were back at home to defend. They were not in the main army. There's 1 Widow Mine left. There we go. We're reinforcing. That was a good fight for Rex. Does take down most of the key units. Meanwhile, Kira getting back into Bio Widow Mine production. His 3rd base is up and running. Kira, he has an economy. Gold base is going to be cancelled. Rex finally has an expansion, has a 4th. But we need to do something about this 3rd of Cure as he's double expanding, lifting up his main base. Taking it as a 4th. This is dangerous. dangerous for Rex. Kira now has an economy. Rex, he's on one base. He's running out of resources at his natural and his third. Do you like this though? Rex going into the main. Takes down some turrets, gets a Widowmine. Oh, Kira going for a drop across the map. Lings, they get in! Get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. We deny mining as best we can. At the same time, Kira dropping across the map as well. Rex not where he needs to be. That hatchery getting so low so quickly. We do hold on to it, just barely. Mutas, they go back into the natural. Kira not in position. We get a meta back. Not bad. And more SCVs. Rex, he's doing it. Barely. He cleans up the drop. Looks like Kira's going for another drop towards the left-hand side. I don't think Rex is quite in position. Does need that base. Medivacs almost get caught out. Kira, calm down. Infestor's on the way. Kira's pushing. Rex with a little bit of lapse in macro here. Rex has resources, but he's not quite maxed out yet. Does he want ultras? Oh. Yeah, there we go. Ultras are on the way. But the ultras, they need time. Rex still getting to 3-3, still getting to guidance plating. Lings, they bust in. Where's the Widowmine? It's not here. No Widowmine to defend. SCVs are going down. Kira himself having a hard time keeping up with the harass. Does have a hard time. As the Mutas, they come back in, they go for the CC. Rex, he loses control of his fourth. Fourth hatchery falls. Rex, he had a backup fit though. Did have a backup base. Ultras have arrived. Rex now with the tech advantage because as Rex has ultras, we don't have any marauders. Oh, there's no marauders, there's no ghost either. Kira's working like mainly Marine Widowmine. Like purely Marine Widowmine at this point. And Medevac. Oh, massive mine shots! Rex flies into the Widowmines. Massive shots go off, but doesn't matter. It may. Ay, ay, ay. Kira's going for the kill. He's going for the natural. That's a lot of Widowmines being set up. Ultras are on the way. How good are the mine shots going to be? They're going to be good. Yeah, big connection on the Lings, but we get a fungal up. The Mutas, some of them have arrived. What little is left, we can chase down these Medivacs. Oh, Mutas are being targeted. So we have a fungal. Oh, Corruptors are coming out. We clean up the army. And it looks like Rex, he has done it. Yes, Rex, he loses 18 drones and he will lose control of the bottom left. The goal base goes down, but Rex, he has an army. He can keep going. He can keep pushing. Widowmines are setting up. It's a good amount of Widowmines, but Rex, massive fungal on the army, collapses on the Marines. There's no escape. There's no way out of this. Marines get shut down. SCVs as well. And GG gets caught. Rex has done it. Fafi, ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Rex, he bounces back and he ties up the series 1-1 between himself and Kira. GG. With a smile on his face. Thumbs up, Fafi. Thumbs up. GG, well played. Rex able to bounce back here against Kira. Again, a man with a plan. We spoke about it. This is the power of the WTL format. Rex, he came into Golden Aura with a plan. It was 2-base Muta. Remember, he went for a 4-minute or a 3:55 layer timing straight into 6 gases. Into Spire play, into Muta play, and he hit just before the 7-minute push. Just before the tank push, he hits. He forced Kira to turn back around, and Kira also lost, what was it, like 15 SCVs? He lost a big chunk of workers. He was forced back home, Rex, he gained some momentum. Despite that, it was still back and forth. It was still a very tense game. Cure, he fought his heart out there. Even though Cure did not have an economy, he made sure that Rex also didn't have an amazing economy either. Rex could not take a fourth, as Cure could not take a third. So very tense game, very tense in the end, and GG, well played. Rex does take it, does give Offside a chance at redemption. And I want to believe, Fabi, because up next we have Clem versus Firefly. Let's go. Did anyone believe? No one. I see in the chat, no one bet on Rex even taking a game last series, I think. Did anyone bet? No, one person did. 10K goes to what? Let's go. One person believed in the 1-1 score. No one believed in our Discord. I know that much at least. But now we're getting ready for Clem versus Firefly. Our final best of 2 of this series. Let's have a look at those predictions. Bam! I think they're still being set up. I think that's the last series' predictions. So we're getting there, but it's going to be Clem versus Firefly in a TVP. I know that I went for the 1-1 score. I know that much. I'm too much of a Firefly fan not to believe he can't at least take a game. I know that much. Now, the way this format works, it's a best of 7. Jump in the chat. Oh, as we are diving into game number 1 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have for Team Liquid, Clem. And in the top right, we have for Offside, Firefly. Here we go. What universe am I in? Cure still made it a game. He did. Like, it was a very tense game too there between Cure and Rex. Hello, Shamsay. Hello. Firefly might win a game if they send someone to pull Clem's internet. I'm not so sure about that. Like, again, we have seen Clem fall to the Chinese Protoss players in the past. I'm speaking of Firefly, Cyan, and Jeshi. We have seen him drop maps before, but we'll see. We'll see if Firefly can get the 2-0. That's like the stronger claim here. As Clem is going to... Oh my god, he's opening up 2 racks. Okay, Clem gonna be spicing things up here in game 1. Going for a racks, not expand, but a 2 racks Reaper. So it's gonna be 2 racks Reaper here from Clem. Very aggressive build. Firefly is looking for proxy. So Firefly, he's aware that Clem does like to cheese at times in this matchup. We have seen a proxy Marauder quite a number of times as well. So Firefly checks the linear third base before scouting across the map, making sure that Clem is not pulling a fast one on him. And he is. But not the way he thinks. Not the way he thinks here, as the probe is moving out. And meanwhile, Clem fully walls off as well. Firefly is in the dark here, and we are amassing Reapers. Reapers are amassing. Firefly still trying to get a read on this. He's checking the goal base. And it looks like he will get eyes on the SCV patrolling. There we go. CC is now on the way. So 2x Reaper into an expand. Ooh, did not see the base itself, but I think he saw a glimpse of the patrolling SCV. I think he saw the worker there. As Firefly backs off, you can see Clem is looking for the probe. Trying to hunt it down with that Reaper. Did end up getting that first Stalker out initially here for Firefly. And you can see that more Reapers are on the way. Now these Reapers, they're designed to bust into a middle line to make no damage done. We have a 3rd Rax on the way. Okay, so 2 Rax Reaper into 3 Rax from Clem. This does make sense on this map. Okay, so winding it back a little bit, we're loading into Dynasty. Dynasty has a gold pocket base, so with a gold base, bio-based aggression makes a lot of sense here for a Terran in TVP. Reapers dip in. It's 3 Reapers, no safety shield battery in the main. Their shield battery probes are going down. We do get 1. 2nd Stalker has arrived. Good target fighting there out of Firefly. But he will still bleed out a lot of probes. It's going to be 3. It's going to be 4 probes falling. 4 probes for 3 Reapers. Not the worst trade here for Firefly. Clem was hoping for more. He was hoping for at least a 1-to-1 trade. I mean, I guess he did. Did make a 4th Reaper. Now behind this is 3 racks. So the way this works is that we're going to be hitting a stim timing. There's going to be a very strong stim timing here from Clem. And if Firefly had opened Stargate, Firefly could just die. He could just die straight up then and there. Now, thankfully for Firefly, he opened up Twilight Council. He's going into Blink Stalkers as he shuts down the final Reaper. So again, 4 Reapers for 4 probes. Because it's Blink, Firefly, he has a stronger chance to defend against this. He can even punish across the map with mining these mineral gold, the mineral patches here, and we're going to be able to deny mining at the natural. Stalkers are in position, and Clem cannot mine. This is why Firefly did not expand at the gold. This is why traditionally or typically in this matchup you don't take the gold base, because it is so easy. It is so easy to deny mining. 1 Stalker is all you need. And because Clem did not open tank, I mean, he has no tanker position to protect that mineral line either, to outrange the Stalker. Now, Blink is not done, so we have to be careful. A very tight micro here from Firefly. Picks off some Marines. Gets an SCV. They're going for additional warp ins. You can see Clem trying to make it there to the mineral line. Will bleed out a Marauder. Good control here from Firefly. Oh! Does pull back. And he has the high ground. Has the high ground here. Shuts down the Marines, but the Marauders are packing quite a punch. Blink is done. Blink is now done. So is Stim, as Firefly does manage to blink away. Good control here from Firefly. Gets another Marauder. Gets the final Marauder as well. And Firefly, he takes control of the base. He shuts down the army as well. He can blink over the wall, by the way. And Clem is out of position. Ooh, I think that was a bit of a misclick. Firefly blinking towards the right-hand side. Rotating around. Containing Clem to 1 base. And you can see Firefly knocking down that front door as well. Clem split between the bases. GG gets called immediately there as he knows the writing is on the wall. And Firefly takes game number 1. GG, Papi. GG. And again, I should emphasize something here. Even though I said that, mate, we've seen Firefly take maps off of Clem. We've seen him do it before. He's going to do it again. I expected Firefly to take game 2, if any, right? Like, game number 2 is usually where Firefly thrives with his map pick, but Clem tries to be cheeky and he gets shut down. It wasn't just a 2-Rax Reaper. It wasn't just a 2-Rax Reaper that didn't really pay off. Remember, he traded 1-to-1 Reaper for Probe, which is not what you're looking for. On top of that, because Clem went to the gold, that was ambitious. That was ambitious. You could see how easy it was to deny mining at the gold base. All it takes is a couple of Stalkers, and to be fair, I say it's easy to deny mining. Firefly had some beautiful blink control. Like, his Stalker engagement with the stimmed Biomarine, or with the Marine Marauder was very impressive. He just completely picked apart that army, was able to shut it down, and as a result, deny any kind of mining at the gold. With that, there was no way for Clem to recover. He taps out. GG. Firefly takes game 1. Now I'm concerned for Team Liquid, because, again, in my mind at least, you know, if there was a way to bounce back, or if there was a way that this series would go, it would be Clem taking game 1 and then Firefly coming out with something crazy in game number 2. But now the turns have tabled. The turns have tabled here, and oh boy, the pressure is on. Now, this is Clem's map of choice. This is Clem's map of choice. He's going for Alcyone, a much more standard map, makes sense. And here we go in the bottom left-hand corner. We have Firefly for offside. Whew. There he is. And in the top right-hand corner, we have Clem for Team Liquid. Let's go. Now, this map makes a lot of sense. Clem, he won't be tempted to go for any kind of spicy, aggressive build. Likewise, neither would Firefly. Alcyone, this map is known for having a really solid setup on 3 bases, for getting into a 4th base, or cutting the map in half, for the mid game, for the late game, for macro play more than anything. So basically, this tells us that Clem wants to calm things down. Clem wants to get into a standard game, wants to really showcase what he's made of and his strengths, which makes sense. Which does make sense. And this is going to be a tougher ask, a bit of a steeper hill to climb here for Firefly. Steeper mountain to climb even. Oh boy. We'll see. Again, Firefly is the ace player of his team of offside. eBay block comes in. And Firefly is going to have to pull some workers. There we go. Does pull 3 probes, 4 in total, and he is 5 probes even, and he will be looking to cancel that eBay. So a nice little start for Clem. He does force some inefficiency here from Firefly. Does delay the expansion, does a nice mining time. Ooh, what did it say? Hold on a second. okay, yeah. Because it's an eBay block, we do delay our expansion. It's going to be a Rax into factory, into delayed CC. But Clem has the option to be aggressive here. Firefly the GOAT. I mean, he's been a GOAT for a long time. Again, if you've been watching WTL, Firefly, he is the GOAT of World Team League. Like last season, even the season before that, all of 2023, there's a reason why at least us here on the CranKy Ducklings, we became big fans of Firefly last year. Big fans. As Clem is going for a 1-1-1. Okay, so it isn't just a delayed expansion, but quite a delayed expansion here for Clem. No CC yet. Going for the starport across the map. This is going to be for, I imagine, a medevac drop into the main. It could be one of two things. Either Clem is looking to go for a medevac to drop the Hellions into the main base, or going for a Liberator instead. And the timing of this natural is very suspect. Very suspect timing here. Firefly knows it's late. He knows it's delayed. Has to be for a reason. Can he piece it together as he's going for a proxy gateway across the map? Uh-oh. Gate is across the map. If he moves out, he won't have anything to defend back at home. That's what I'm most concerned about. And there it is. Medevac is on the way. So it's going to be for the Hellion drop. So Hellion drop into the main base. Remember, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe. And the Hellions do get spotted. Good movement there by Firefly, having control of the center of the map. He's aware that the Hellions are on the way, but I'm not so sure he's aware of the drop. As Hellions, they rotate over towards the right-hand side. They're going for the medevac. There is a Stalker in position. Firefly aware that there's potential for some aggression into the main. Firefly, such a good read, is here in the main base. Shuts down one of the Hellions, but there's still 3. And they get 2 probes. 2 probes, we get 2 more there towards the end. 4 probes in total, not bad. 3 Hellions, they do make it out. We do boost away. And we're going for more worker damage here in the natural. They line up, oh god! They did line up for a moment. 1 more probe goes down. 2 more. But the medevac is zoned away. 6 probes for 4 Hellions. But at least the medevac survives. I may have spoken too soon. Firefly coming in with the intercept. Can he catch the medevac? It's close. The okay. Medevac does pivot away. And you can see Firefly is punishing Clem right now. The Hellions are gone. We do deny any kind of mining at the natural. We have a tank on the high ground. But you know what? The tank is not on the low ground. We cannot mine from the natural whatsoever. Clem trying to reposition. Firefly is so quick to move out. Threatens a shade. And remember, there's no stim, by the way. These are vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields. The base hitting very low. But the base does catch fire. Force to lift. The medevac is tempting. It's so close to going down. We don't quite go for it. Oh god! Don't quite go for it. We get another SCV. And Firefly backs off. Now, Clemmy finally takes control of his natural base, but it did cost him a lot. That was so much lost mining time there at that natural. You can see Clem not looking too happy. Hand off the keyboard there for a moment. Looking a little bit frustrated, but he's still not out of this. Again, thanks to that counter damage from Firefly, it makes up for his dead workers back at home, so he's able to recover. That's 4 gates. That's 5 gates. It's 2 base all in. 2 base all in out of Firefly. Instead of expanding and going for a third, we have 5 gates on the way. I believe that is 8 gates in total, so it's going to be 8 gate charge as a follow-up. It's all or nothing for Firefly. He's putting it all on the table. Oh, it's not just 8 gate charge. He has Immortals as well. 2 of them. Okay. So again, just 2 base all in here from Firefly. Ideally for Firefly, he fights in the center of the map. Ideally, he fights Clem out of the open. And Clem, does he move out? Okay, he's setting up at his natural, thankfully. He's setting up at the natural base. Some of the Marines have been spotted on the left-hand side. Firefly reinforcing. Warp Prism's on the way. As soon as the Warp Prism arrives, that's when we warp in. That's when we go for the kill. That's when we go for the throat. Ooh, as Firefly gets supply blocked. That's actually a pretty big deal. When we're all in like this, we cannot miss warp ins. So that will slow Firefly down. Sentries on the way. Zelts are coming. Charge is finishing up. Just as Stim finishes up as well, we have the Observer with eyes on the army. Again, 2 tanks on the low ground. No bunker. That's what's scary here. There's no bunker. There's no tank on the high ground. There's no Sim City. To protect those tanks, we unsiege. Uh-oh. We do unsiege. Firefly pulling the trigger. He dies on the army. Good force fields. Insane force fields. We catch some Marines. The tanks are caught off guard. We do pick up. Good pick up there from Clem. Does save the tanks, but he has lost control of his natural once again. A solid force field. Boys are being pulled. Yet again, Clem, we just cannot engage. Tank is on the low ground though, but we can just dive on top of the tank. It is going to get targeted down. Does get an extra volley off Zelts. They do rush in. And Clem, even if he holds here, he's going to lose everything here at the natural. 13, 14, 15 SCVs going down. Clem looking a little bit frustrated, a little bit disappointed there. Not happy about the game. Tank goes down. Massive warping as well. GG gets called, and Firefly, the ace player of Offside, takes the 2-0. And we force the ace match. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Oh no. The production team. What's going on? There we go. Oh, he's drinking Macca's. Let's go. Powered by Macca's, mate. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Firefly with the 2-0. Ace who? Clem who? Terran what? GG, well played. Again, Firefly is the one that Offside can rely on. Takes down Clem 2-0. And we have found ourselves in the ace match. Let's go. It's going to be the final game here. Game number 7. And the obvious pick, the obvious ace player for Offside is Firefly, right? This is the downside of this kind of situation, is winding it back a little bit here. Offside, the obvious choice is Firefly. So Team Liquid can kind of perceive that. They can assume that. Team Liquid have options. Clem might want his revenge. Clem might be upset and he might want his revenge. Or if he's a little bit tilted, Clem can be like, yo, I mentally, emotionally, I'm not ready for this. I can't handle fighting against this guy again. Cure, you step in instead, right? Cure can step in as another option for Team Liquid. Otherwise, specifically against Protoss players, does a Laser or Skillus or Mana, do they feel confident against Protoss? Do they have some specialized builds for Golden Aura? That's the thing here, you know, like Team Liquid, they have a lot of options here because they do have a bit of a stronger lineup with some pretty hefty players. For Offside, I feel like it has to be Firefly. But we'll see. We'll see. They could catch us off guard. We could see, I don't know, like Mark Uwu Thermal comes out. The YouTube man comes out with like a meme build on Golden Aura. Who knows? Who knows here? We'll see. We shall see. Euthermal, the ultimate swerve. That would be the ultimate swerve. Like, bearing in mind, Euthermal, he's also random as well. That would be a wild pick for the ace. Again, it has to be Firefly here. But who is it for Team Liquid? If you're in the chat, let us know. Who do you think? Because I think there are a lot of valid options for Team Liquid. Like, I think there are a lot of, like, good options for them that would make a lot of sense here. And there's no necessarily wrong answer for Team Liquid. The map is also important. Bear that in mind. We are loading into Golden Aura. It's a best of 1. It is a best of 1. She's at Clem needs his revenge. That's the thing, right? Like, does Clem feel like he has? Does he want his revenge? Maybe, but should he try to get his revenge? Right? Like, if you're too emotional, does that make you? Does that like cause you to make mistakes? Right? That sort of thing is something to bear in mind. Is Clem, of course, experienced enough to not have to deal with that? Like, is he fine? Is he cool as a cucumber? Can he, like, shake it off and just jump in anyway? We'll see. We shall see. Bearing in mind that nobody believed, at least in our Discord server, no one believed in the 2-0. You can see here was 33% in favor of 2-0 for Clem. 66 majority did predict a 1-1. But no one believed in the 2-0. No one had faith in the 2-0 for Firefly. But he pulled it off. He did it. Hey, he's the GOAT. He's crazy. He's cracked. Oh boy. I should have had more faith, Bobby. I should have had more faith. One camel versus the best Terran in the world. Firefly facial expressions. Like, he beat 5 world class Terran already today. No biggie. I mean, to be fair, Firefly, he popped off at the end. He did pop off at the end for the 2-0. I have a feeling Clem vetoes that map. Possibly. For those who don't know, there are no vetoes in WTL, which is also like a big factor. I know what you're saying. I think you're saying that like Clem probably doesn't practice a lot on Dynasty. 100%. Like, Dynasty is one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. But in WTL, you have to play on it. You have to play. Alright, but here you go. Who is it? It's going to be Oh, it's the rematch! Let's go! It is, in fact, going to be the rematch. Kira's like, young papi, do you want me to come in? Clem's like, no. Step aside, Cure. Let me at him, papi. Let me back in. Here we go. If you're in the chat, predictions are going to be opening up. Predictions will be opening soon here, so you can place your bets. Firefly, he's going off to the bathroom. He doesn't even know who he's playing against right now. Firefly, he's in the bathroom. He's getting ready. I'm sure mentally preparing for Kior, but really it's Clem coming out instead. He's upset. He's angry, Poppy. Or frustrated. You know, maybe that's more of it. And it all comes down to this. Oh, Firefly with a cheeky smile, Poppy. Let's go. He's like, he wants more? He wants more of the Firefly? He's crazy. Who do we believe in the chat? I vote Skilless, Clem greater than all. That's what we have. Is WTL loses map pick? It is. But Ace Match is predetermined. Ace Match is predetermined ahead of time by the admins of WTL. There's like no vetoes or anything like that. Someone menu poke Firefly some more Mac is true. But yes, as Thorn is saying in the chat, map 1 is picked by the organizers. Oh, Clem. You see, the face of a killer. He's ready for his revenge. Let's go. This is when Clem, he like proxy 2 racks or something. Oh no. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have Clem, the ace player for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have the ace for Offside. It is Firefly. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open for like another 30 seconds. Place your bets while you can, as predictions will soon close. Maybe oh, he wants them. True. What's on the line right now? Sure, it is the ace match, but also the Macca's Pappy. He wants it. Get this man some Macca's. He's a growing boy. He needs it. For now, we're getting into our openers. Okay, let's calm down a little bit. We're getting into our openers here. Clem looks to be going for a Rax Expand, but we'll see if he takes the second Gas Geyser. Meanwhile, Firefly likewise going for a standard opener himself, bearing in mind that every game so far in this quote-unquote best of 3, it's double gas by the way, aggressive build, but in this quote-unquote best of 3, we've seen Firefly go for a Twilight Council opener every game. I like this. I do appreciate the Twilight Council build, especially if you expect your opponent to be a little bit more aggressive in the game. It is a little bit safer here compared to a Stargate opener with Phoenixes. Meanwhile, Clem going double gas means he's going for a faster factory. Technically, this could lead into a 1-base all-in, technically, but I don't think Clem's that kind of player. Like, we've seen Gumiho go for 1-base all-ins, we've seen Oliveira go for 1-base all-ins. Not so sure if Clem is that kind of player. So for now, should be Rax into factory, into a delayed expansion. Meanwhile, Firefly across the map, getting to his own Nexus. So far, everything looking normal from our Protoss player. This could also be, as I mentioned, that Clem is going for a more aggressive build. It could also just be him being safe, like a little bit afraid of maybe his opponent going for a proxy or something of the sort. Could make either argument here. As we have the reactor on the way, we have options to go for reactor Reaper with Hellions alongside it for some aggression. We could also go for like an add-on swap into Widowmine production for reacted Widowmines, for earlier Widowmines for a Mind Drop. Could go for a safety Cyclone. But I'm leaning more along the lines of Reaper Hellion. But we'll see. Reaper tries to dip in, Reaper gets forced out. We're getting to our 1-1-1 and going for add-ons. This is interesting. The factory doesn't make any units. We're going straight for the tech lab. Are we going for a Banshee open? Wait, no shot. What? It's not lined up for the add-on swap. We're going for fast tank. Tech lab is done. This is either fast tanks or an add-on swap here. Another tech lab on the way? Okay. Show, yeah, okay, it's add-on swap. Okay. So we're going for the add-on swap. This is Banshee, question mark? At least it feels that way. Yeah, we go. Okay. So it's going to be a Banshee-based opener here by Clem. Very committed. We're banking a lot on these Banshees. We're rushing into Cloak as we speak. Banshees are on the way. Now, Banshees are very uncommon in this matchup. They're not seen too often in TVP, but Banshees can get a surprising amount of damage. Because they're uncommon, as though we get the Scouts! No! We saw the 1-1-1. I believe Firefly saw the researching tech lab, which should be a tell. That Robo's on the way. Robo's on the way. That's going to be for the observer. That's going to be for detection. Big scout there from Firefly, and he should understand what he saw. He should be aware. He should be getting ready. I believe he also saw the tech lab on the factory. I think we're about to have a look at the vision. Not quite. Not quite here, but I believe we also saw the tech lab on the factory, so we should be aware of the earlier tank production as well. And honestly, from the side of Clem, this looks like a 2-base all-in. I think we've seen Beyond do this. Like, rush into early Banshee, into early tanks, into like a 2-base all-in where you pull the boys. We have seen that before, so I'm curious if that's the case here, just because these tanks are insanely early. Here we go. Banshee gets across the map. Towards the main. Shield battery gets done in time. Observer's in production as well. And the Banshee doesn't get much done yet. Firefly spinning up his units. Jab Cloak. Observer a little bit late to the party, but we do get on top of the Banshee. Oh, one more volley. Ooh, and the Banshee does barely survive. Whew. Does make it out in time. Here comes the push that we spoke about. A couple of boys are being pulled, but only a couple. But again, this is very aggressive. Very committed here from Clem. Again, we've seen this build where you pull every worker at the natural, but it looks like Clem is only pulling a couple of workers here. Maybe just for some light repair or for some Raxes. Raxes? What? Bunkers, I mean. The SCVs go down. One of them at least. The push has been spotted. And has Firefly been too greedy? Has he been too greedy here? He got a third. Has only a handful of Stalkers. He's trying to slow down the army, but the tanks are getting within range. And the tanks, they're going for the Nexus. They are barely out of range. Out of range of the base, but not of the army. Massive tank volleys go off. Bunkers on the way. The shield battery putting in a lot of work. But the base is still under fire. Another Banshee comes in to reinforce. Boys, they have to be pulled. We dive on top of the tanks. One tank goes down, so does the second, but we bleed out a lot of Stalkers. And so many Stalkers go down. Reinforcements on the way. Firefly in some trouble. He is buying time, though. He's dragging this army out of position. Remember, there's no stim. Remember, there is no stim with this. So it's difficult for Clem to really engage. Bunker goes down. Tank does siege. We collapse on the armor. We get a full surround. Firefly, he cleans this up. He completely cleans this up. He does lose workers, but that is not worth it for Clem. Clem, he was looking... he's not looking happy there. Yeah, not looking happy. That was designed to kill the third. At least kill the third, maybe end the game. That is what we needed, and he gets neither. Oh my... Offside. Are they doing it? Offside, Mappy. Here we go. We're going for the counter. We have siege. The tank gets caught out. First tank goes down. Tank is on the high ground. No bunker, by the way. No stim. 3 Marines. There's 1 Liberator across the map. Denying mining time. But Firefly has control of the natural. Again, it was so huge that Firefly was able to release scouts. Yeah, Clem not happy about the situation. I mean, the writing is a little bit on the wall here. Clem, to bounce back, he needs to clean up this army. He needs to harass across the map. He needs to somehow bounce back. Firefly so far ahead in workers. Ambitious dive, we get the tank though. Big pick up. Tank goes down. The Observer survives. No shot. The Observer survives as well. We focus on the Banshee. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. The Banshee got... Oh, we get it. Production. What? Wait, the production never holds back. They do this sometimes. They do it a lot to Oliveira as well. They're like, look at his face. It's devastating. We get it. We get it. Calm down, production team. Calm down. Ay, ay, ay. They like the despair. S the SE boy. But yeah, from here, Firefly, he's taking up 4th base. He's working towards Storm, towards Charge. Like the WTL production team, they don't hold back, Bobby. They don't hold back. Not against anyone. They're like, cry for the camera. Calm down. Calm down. We do catch the Observer in the main at least. Observer does go down. And Firefly is moving out across now, but he does spot the move out. Again, he has a 2nd Observer outside the natural, so he sees the army. Gotta be able to engage. As the army moves out, the Prism moves in. Zelt into the mineral line, into the main base. SCVs are falling. Big warp in as well. As Clem gets forced back, we cancel the warp in actually. Interesting choice. Do go for the cancel. Prism has to back up. But at least Firefly forces the army back. I think Firefly, with his Observer, he saw the army turn around, so he just cancels the warp in, focuses his production back at home, focuses on his 4th, sorry, his 3rd, no, yeah, his 4th even. Storm is done, so we have Charge Lots, we have Storm, we have Stalkers. And here we go, Firefly. Now he's going for the kill. Remember, he has 4 High Templar in that War Prism. At least 4 Storms available, and he's going for it. Yeah, Storm of the Marauders. Oh my god, the Storms! We blanket everything there. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, GG gets called. Firefly, he takes the 3-0 over Clem. He pops off. Oh my, he's crazy. Shuts him down. 3-0 GG, an offside takedown at Team Liquid in round 2. Very well done. He knocked his camera out of focus. Oh, we're back, we're back. We're back in focus, Papi. GG, well played. A flurry of blows. Firefly cannot be stopped. Congratulations, 4-3 over Team Liquid. Who would have thought, again, I'm a massive Firefly fan, but even I did not expect this. Even I did not expect the 3-0 for Firefly. GG, very well done. Again, if you tune into WTL before, I mean, you've seen Firefly take down Serral, you've seen him take down some big names in the past. Firefly, he has been, if you, maybe this is your first time, maybe you haven't watched WTL before, maybe you haven't seen Firefly compete, but he is an amazing player. And he's honestly really good at this preparation format. He thrives and he looks the best in WTL, where you know your opponent ahead of time. I want to believe that Firefly puts a lot of work into like studying and like practicing and preparing for his specific opponent every single week, because WTL is where he just pops off like no other tournament. So GG, well played. I'm still waiting for Firefly to replicate this success in individual league formats. He didn't look too bad last season in EPT. In EPT Asia, Firefly, he made it to the finals, right? Firefly looked really good last season. This season, a little bit less so. Like Firefly, a little bit less successful this season. But that's really what we're waiting for. Waiting for Firefly to really pop off in these more like weekend tournaments where you have to come in like with the practice that you've been building up towards the past month or 2 months. You can't like prepare for your specific opponent or anything like that. It's a very different dynamic. You know, this is kind of like GSL in a way. This is more of like a GSL format where you have time to.
傲风 M6 旗舰 Pro 按摩遮盖小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，硬地机械臂，
biu biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解，任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”， 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
Versus Young Yakov and Maru versus Kelazar. Oh boy. Team Liquid, of course. Team Vitality, they are the reigning champions. They are the reigning WTL champions here. Can they be stopped? Can anyone slow them down? That is the question here. They already took down Dragon Kaiser Gaming last week, and now they're up against Platinum R8. Let's go. Up first, we have Solar versus Goblin. If you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open for this ZVP. Game 1 is going to be on Post Youth, and Solar rocking a new hat, by the way. It looks pretty good, not going to lie. I like it, puppy. I like it. But here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Solar for Team Vitality. And in the top right, we have this one. We have a Goblin for Platinum R8. Let's go. Did you get Macca's? It's midnight here. You'd have to drive through. Macca's do deliver here at around midnight. I think they end delivery at midnight? Question mark, I think. Or maybe like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Something like that. I don't know. Exclamation mark menu pug. But it is quite late here. It is quite late. It's all good. It's all good. One of these days I'll have Macca's. I always keep saying that for Kung Fu Cup I need some KFC. And it's yet to happen. Yet to happen. Here we go. Here we go as we are settling into our first game. So far, nothing too crazy. I mean, we're letting into Post Youth. Post Youth, known for being one of the other quirkier maps out there. It's a very large map. Don't get me wrong, it is a large map, true, but at the same time, does have a lot of gold base to take advantage of. You have a hybrid pocket base here that you can take at your natural. Likewise, you can take the goal base further on out as well. And take them as we're still settling in. But in my region, I just checked suburb, really. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's a suburb thing. It's probably just like a Macca's thing. Like, if the Macca's near you stays open that late or not. Which I guess is like a suburb thing, I guess. Here we go. So far, we're settling in. And again, Goblin has been looking quite impressive recently. As of late, Goblin has been looking very impressive. We casted Goblin last week against Stats, by the way, and Goblin 2-0'd Stats in his team's series versus Twisted Fairy. It was very impressive to see Goblin pop off in that PvP. Was looking confident, by the way, but that was a PvP. Now he's up against one of the best Zerg players in South Korea. Top 2 alongside Dark. Solar is not one to take lightly. As of now, we do have our opener of choice. It is going to be a Stargate opener here from our Protoss player. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, predictions are open, by the way. They're a little bit late, but predictions are open, so you can place your bets on who you think takes this. Will it be a 2-0 in favor of Solar or Goblin, or is it a 1-1 score between the two of them? Up to you to decide. Best of luck. Best of luck with your predictions, as it's going to be a Void Ray opener. Okay, the Stargate initially wasn't too crazy, but the Void Ray is. Now, with this Void Ray, Goblin, of course, is going to be shutting down the initial Overlord. Is going to be keeping Solar in the dark. Is going to hunt down the Overlords, and from there, go into some hidden tech. Now, the question becomes, what is that hidden tech going to be? It doesn't have to be hidden, by the way. Could be double Stargate Phoenix, could be double Stargate into Skytos, could be a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts, or it could even be a standard game. Third base with Blink and +1. Solar won't know. Not easily, at least. As the Overlord is going to be shut down. And there it is. We have our answer, by the way. Double Stargate Skytoss. That is a second Stargate and a fleet beacon, by the way. We're rushing into carriers. Let's go. Again, this is one of the multitude of things it could be. I did bring it up earlier when I was listing off, it could be double Stargate Phoenix, could be a Skytoss rush, it could be a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts. There's a lot that could be on the way. And Solar has to piece it together. He has to try to piece it together here. Now, what I do like from Goblin is he has not started +1 air attack. Thankfully, because of that, there's no easy tell. As Lings, they try to slip in, the wall is up and running. Oh, but the Adepts are caught out. One Adept will fall. Up! The other Lings, they barely do not get in. Not a bad pick off there by Solar, and we're not going into carriers. My apologies. It's going to be a Tempest Rush from Goblin. Tempests are amassing as we speak. Now, the way this works, you want to build up, a solid 4 Tempest count before moving out. We have Tectonic Destabilizers being researched as well. That is the bonus damage to structures upgrade on the way. We can see Solar getting a safety Roach Warren. That was around a 4:30 or 4-minute Roach Warren from Solar. So it is being safe behind this. Tempests are on the move. Lings, they shut down the Adepts at least. But they missed the Tempest. Tempests are missed. They're trying to bust in. They do scout the Stargate. Up. Do they see what's going on? Hard to say. Hard to say exactly as a Tempest. They have been revealed. How many queens do we have? How many queens do we have? Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. We're making 3 queens at a time. We do have a transfuse. Interesting. Goblin focuses down 4 drones. Backs off. Gets 4 worker kills. Forcing out the Spire. Now, what I like here from Goblin is he is not committing to Skytoss. He has made Tempest, that is true, but he's switching into a Forge and a Twilight Council, getting ready for either a Blink transition or charge. So Goblin, he isn't doubling down on pure Skytoss, is what I mean. He's switching out. And if he overcommits to Corruptors, then he's gonna have dead supply. That's the scary thing about this build. This is a build that Classic was very fond of last year. And speaking halfway through last year? Around August? August, September, into November, into the last season of GSL, if you remember. Classic did popularize this. Tempest into a switch into Ground Toss. So Solar should be familiar. He is in the back of his mind. As we do see the 5th Tempest arrive. 11 Corruptors on the way. Thankfully, we are working on Roach upgrades. Oh my god, that hatchery getting so low. We can one-shot queens. Oh, we can one-shot. 2 queens go down. Try to focus on that hatchery as well. The transfuses are clutch. We barely keep them alive. And here come the Corruptors. And now Goblin has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, picking up another queen. Does force the recall. 1 Tempest goes down. Just barely. And now Solar's on the hunt. Now, as a reminder, Solar has to be careful not to overcommit into Corruptors. He has, I think it's 12 Corruptors. From here, we need a ground army as we're switching into Blink Stalkers. We focus on another Tempest. But again, one of the common mistakes that Zerg players would make here is overcommit to the Sky Toss, to anti-air. But again, it is a lesson that a lot of Zerg players have learned over the past 6 months. So do see Goblin pushing through that southern side. We catch another one of those Tempests. The base is under fire. Tempests are going to be shut down, and we do have Ling Ravager. We have a ground army, but is it going to be enough? While zoning Goblin away, we catch another Queen and a Roach. Not bad. Roaches and Queens get shut down. A Goblin behind this, not taking too many gases at his third. Only taking the one. Yeah, he's got 8 gates behind. It's a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in here from Goblin. He is on 8 gates. And it's all or nothing. His goal here is to end it. Across the map, the Corrupt is going for the base. Going for the Nexus. Lyle's going to be forcing back the army. Yeah, the Nexus goes down. And Goblin, he was already all in, but now his economy has been stifled. He has that much less to warp in. But he's still gaining ground. Blinks are looking good. The Lyle's not quite connecting. Goblin still has a terrifying army, and he catches another Queen. And Solar is barely holding on. I believe the Corruptors are racing back home. Actually, they're going for the gateway, I believe. Yeah, big catch there from Solar. It's off screen, but he's going for the gateway. At the same time, we dive on top of the Ravagers. Boys are being pulled, but so many Ravagers go down. Solar, he's in trouble. Solar's in a lot of trouble. Good target firing there from Goblin. Does get as many Ravagers as he can. Remember, Solar, he can afford to lose drones. 6 drones go down, and Solar, he barely holds. Whew. Yeah, Falzan anticipating the blinks there from Goblin. And the proxy gateway has been shut down. Reinforcements, they take that much longer to get across the map. They've arrived, though. Oh! Again, Solar, he's not out of this yet. He's not out of this yet. Once again, pulling more boys. Actually, sorry, transferring over even. Lings are coming in. Oh, they're doing so much here. Lings do such a great job. GG gets called. Solar, he survives. Whew, does survive the all-in here. GG. Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG. We have seen some Skytoss rushes on this map before as well, but I'm curious as we're getting into game number 2 and spotting. The bottom right, we have Solar for Team Vitality. And in the top left, we have Goblin for Platinum R8. Or Platinum Heroes R8. Here we go. Now, this is not a bad map to try to go for the mid to late game here for Goblin, to try to secure yourself on 3 bases, take a 4th base as well. Maybe even bait an all-in out of your opponent. Zerg players going for Roach Queen based all-ins on Oceanborn are seen quite often. We'll see. We shall see. I'm being bored and I'm seeing if I can put an order in right now. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. Can't do it. Only the ones near 24 hours. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. All good, Poppy, all good. It's probably a good thing that you're not getting Magas at midnight, though. To be fair, it's okay. It's okay. You can get Magas tomorrow, Poppy, tomorrow. Oh. For now, though, we are settling in. It is going to be Hatch Gas pull out of Solar, forced to take the unnatural natural. Meanwhile, Goblin back at home going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything looking as it should for the time being. No big deviations yet. We're basically waiting for the Cybercore to finish, and then we can see if Goblin goes for Warp Gate or not. We'll see if he goes for a Twilight Council or a Stargate. We'll keep an eye on Goblin here. He's already shown us that he's willing to divert from the norm. He's willing to spice things up. Based on the pylon placement, it looks like a Stargate opener. It looks like an Oracle. I say that just because the pylon was thrown down right next to the edge of the main. Will reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. But we'll see. We shall see. As we do have Solar just droning up. There it is. Stargate has been thrown down. And it does look like a more standard game from Goblin. Does look like more standard play. Overlord dips in, gets eyes on the timing of the warp gate. Does confirm that it was delayed. Tomorrow happened 2 minutes. True. Checkmate, lights. You're not wrong. Like, mate, it's already tomorrow. You know what that means? Macca's time. True, true. Este Setsuna. As Adepts, they do get across the map. Going to be threatening a shade to Adepts, do one-shot workers. There's the Oracle now on the way, as I did mention. And it's on Solar to minimize his losses to keep up with the Adepts. Queen pops out just in time. One drone goes down. Not a bad start here for Goblin, getting one worker, but again, we're looking for more. Barely not getting another drone. The shade is forced out. Link speed kicks in, and now it's on Solar to catch these Adepts, by the way. Lings are racing across the map. The Adepts, they will barely make it back home. Just in time. But Solar is camping the third base location. The other downside of this map, there's only one viable third, really. Well, the other third is just so exposed, so difficult to defend. Solar's in position. At the same time, Oracle dips in. Gets one drone here at the natural. Not bad. Forcing a cancel. As the Lings, they do get eyes on the would-be third base, and up! They don't quite delay the third. As Goblin does throw it down. Does manage to throw it down, is going to get it up and running. Now he's got 2 Oracles on the field, a third Oracle is on the way, and with these Oracles we can harass across the map, we can threaten the mineral lines here of Solar. It's on Solar to keep up with this Queen movement. Speaking of, Queens are trying to keep up. Good reaction there with those workers. 2 drones, 3 drones go down, but the Oracles get low. The Oracles, they take a lot of damage, a lot of hits. And Goblin's transition is looking quite standard as well. We're going into a Forge and a Twilight Council +1 and Blink. I imagine Blink. Here we go. Goblin just keeping the pressure up, moving out with his 4 Adepts. It's going to be 4 Adepts and 3 Oracles. Doesn't shade. So far doing a good job of shutting down the tumors though. Cleans up the active tumors. Roach Horns in production. +1 melee here from Solar. For now it's going to be Ling, Roach, Ravager. And Goblin is indeed going into Blink. So we're easing our way into the mid game here. Nothing fancy this time. As Adepts, they do commit to the shade. Lings are lying in wait. We get a surround. We do focus out on a couple of drones. 2 drones full in total. At the same time, a big Link counterattack where we have a shield battery, we have an overcharge. Yeah, Goblin, he does defend. But 4 Adepts for 2 drones, that was not an ideal trade for Goblin. It's not ideal. Behind this, 4 more gates on the way. That's quite a lot of gateways. I believe that's going to be 7 gates in total. But we have not taken gases at the third. Yeah, very stalk-heavy composition. Goblin is pushing. Meanwhile, Solar going into a Spire. Uh-oh. Bold move here by Solar, taking up into a Spire. As Stalks are moving out. Goblin throwing down a pylon here on the front lines to reinforce. And I said 7 gateways, but we could throw down an 8th gateway here at that proxy location. And Queen goes down, but Goblin is going for a 3 base all in. And pylons are finishing up. There it is, 8th gateway's on the way. So it's all or nothing here for Goblin, but he gets surrounded. Lings, they come in from behind, they collapse here on the gateway. That's a kill, not a cancel. Big pick off. That does delay the warp-ins. Bearing in mind that Goblin is all in. Yeah, has to reinforce back at home. 7 Stalkers at a time. That Spire is not going to help. We need Ling Ravager. As Lings, they bust in across the map. Ravagers, they have morphed in just in time. Lings, they bust into the main. The wall is not a wall. They bust into the main base, forcing back reinforcements. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. As Goblin, he has to race back to his main base. The gateway is still not up and running. It is going to get piled down. The gateway gets depowered, and the Goblin, he's in a lot of trouble. He's up against the wall, has to rebuild that pylon, repower this gateway. Does finally reinforce, but because so much time has passed, Solar, he has plenty of time here. He has more Ravagers, more Roaches, more Lings coming in. Solar getting further ahead in supply. Goblin, he has to micro his heart out. He's trying to micro his heart out here with his Blink Stalkers. Pulling back to the stasis. Ooh, the pylon goes down again, by the way. Oh my god, Solar. He's relentless. He just keeps sniping that pylon or the gateway. Somehow keeps getting in. Once again, a Solar from behind collapses, gets a full surround on that pylon. And he will get a kill. Solar just so quick to rally like that. To slip behind the army. Now this Stalker count is still quite impressive though. It's still a hefty Stalker count. But Solar's on 4 bases. And you can see here, now Goblin's expanding. It's such a late expansion. It's such a late expand. I mean, again, for Goblin to try to take a Nexus at this point, it's too little too late. He's been all in for so long. And now we can make use of the Spire. Mutas are on the way. Solar, he feels comfortable enough to invest into the Mutas. He knows he won't die anytime soon. He's free to make those Mutas. Charges on the way. Temple Archives for Archons, for Storm. At least Goblin does have +2. That is true. +2 does help quite a bit with these Stalkers. As Stasis Traps getting up. Army force back. Stalkers are going down. Yeah, we collapse here on top of the gateway. Does fall. And across the map, here come the Mutas from behind. They get into the natural base, and Goblin's being picked apart. Again, he had everything on the front lines, nothing at home to defend. 14 probes go down. We eviscerate the economy, and Solar's not done. He's getting up to 18, 19 probes. Again, Solar in the face of an all-in, just constantly going for these backstabs, these counterattacks, these run-bys. And now he's looking comfortable. Shuts down the main army, collapses on these oracles as well. Oof. Do dodge the Biles. Baileys are morphing in. Mutas do back off, and they're going for the 4th base. Solar just zoning away the army, going for the Nexus. There's Stasis. Ooh, does go off. Solid Stasis there for Goblin. The Biles once again, they rain down on the army. Nexus does survive. We do catch some of these Ravagers. Good pickoffs. Very nice pickoffs here from Goblin. But because of Solar's economy, because of his position, oh my god, he even collapses on the Nexus. And he will kill it. Nexus goes down, and Solar, he has an economy behind this, is the problem. He can sustain himself, can sustain these losses. Solar remaxes. Goblin cannot afford to. Is working on +3. +3 is on the way here for Goblin. is working on +3. We do see Solar just amassing his army. He's maxed out. To be fair, Goblin is close to that as well, and he does have Archons. Archons are up and running. Now we dive on the army. Archons do zone away some of the Ling Bane. So Goblin can take a bit of a better fight here, but Stalkers are going down. Oh, expensive losses here. Solo pulls back the middle line. No! As we get into the middle line, 20 probes go down. And we were talking about that economy earlier for Goblin, how he was barely sustaining himself, if that, and now that's just not the case at all. Not even. He's down to 38 probes. Under 2 base saturation. He does have an army. He does have +3, true. He has +1 shields on the way as well. Basically, it's all or nothing here. Like Goblin, this army has to end the game. And it can, to be fair. Like, Goblin has the more efficient army. Solar needs to trade. He needs to trade and remax. He needs to trade as best he can. As best he can. Buy time to remax. Goblin may only be on 2 bases, but this army is still terrifying. With how many? 6 Archons? With 6 Archons as well, Ling Bane does roll in. Do you have a stasis behind this? The Archons, they tank a lot of the Ling Bane, but 3 Archons go down. We're down to 3. 3 left. Solar, he just piles down the army, zones it back, catches some of the Stalkers as well. Ooh, big catch there. Mute as they get across the map. Force the defensive warp in. I mean, again, Goblin, he's actually recovering. He's reprobing his 4th. Back up to 61 probes. And we spoke about it before, he does have the more efficient army. Has been now trading Solar. So can he turn this into a win, actually? Can we believe Solar doesn't have the best economy anymore? He's only on 64 workers. Uh-oh. Is the comeback real? We do catch an Archon. Oh, we get a second. Big ups. Links from behind. We pop off a stasis. And here come the Ultras onto the army. We don't have 3-3. The Ultras are not as tanky as the otherwise could be. Yeah, Ultras are being focused down. 1 Ultra falls. But we clean up every single Archon. And we're waiting for the Lings. And with the Lings coming into play, we can collapse on these Stalkers, and we should clean this up. Goblin was trading well, but you can see him plummet in supply. Without those Archons, there's just no answers to the Lings. And we completely surround and engulf the army. So many Stalkers go down. And Goblin had a chance. He had like a glimmer of hope in this game earlier, but yeah, that was a brutal trade. You can see the Cracklings just go to town. Link's trying to come in from behind as well. The Ultra's getting involved. Kindness waiting is done, I believe. And Solar just keeping the pressure up. Keeping Goblin at bay. Another Ultra does get picked up. But we take down the Archons, finally. And we get 11 probe kills. We do see Goblin has expanded, has taken a 5th. And he's going to be able to clean up these... Oh, never mind. Bit of friendly fire. Does clean up some of these Ravagers. They're exposed. Lings are coming in to reinforce. Yeah, Solar has to back up. Yeah, +3 coming in clutch here for Goblin. We get on top of the Nexus. It's going to go down. I believe we have Adrenal. From here, Solar, he can just back off, rotates around. Infestors have arrived. We can lock down these Stalkers. Yeah, Fungals, they do connect. That's maybe too many Infestors. That was an expensive investment there by Solar. A lot of those Infestors go down. here come the Lings. Finally. What we have been waiting for. I think that was like 3 infestors thrown away, and we made like 6. That was crazy. Some expensive losses there for Solar. Technically, Goblin does have another base. Does have a backup 4th. Getting saturated. Now, what's scary here is that Solar doesn't have the best upgrades. Solar has a Hive, that is true, but he has +1 Carapace. And I believe he has +2 melee. He hasn't started any 3/3 upgrades. That is holding him back a little bit here. But Lings, they get in. Never mind. Lings, they get into the natural. They get into the main base. Probes are going down once again. Show us the Fungals. Link is on cooldown, by the way. Oh, where is the Ravager? A couple of Ultras trickling in. Fungal does connect. But Solar doesn't have the largest army here. There we go. He does reinforce with a handful of Lings. Will barely hold on. And Solar with 32 more Lings in production. The Fungals are helping. But yeah, he's got +2 melee, +1 Carapace. Like, these upgrades for Goblin, they've been carrying him quite hard. They've been insane. But we cash out more of these Archons, and this should be the final blow. GG gets called. Solar finally breaks Goblin as he kicked things off with a 3-base all-in for like 10 minutes, for over 10 minutes, then tried to deviate away, and he almost did, to be fair. He almost did manage to stabilize. Solar just throwing away a little bit too much. You know, investing into Ultras, those are expensive losses. Investing into Infestors, those were also quite expensive losses as well. Solar was throwing a lot away there and wasn't looking further ahead, so things were much closer than they should have been. Much closer. Regardless, GG, well played. Solar will take the 2-0. Does kick things off with a win here for Team Vitality, and here come the rest of the lineup. Ryung versus Young Yakov, followed by Maru versus Kellezer. Let's go. We have our TVZ. Shout out to Goblin, by the way. Again, I do appreciate how he played in game 1 to go for his specialized build. I mean, he went all in both games. To be fair, both games were variations of 3-base all-ins. But especially here in game number 2, Solar was maybe overconfident. Maybe after game 1, he was a little bit overconfident there. Taking up into Ultras the way that he did. Did give Goblin a chance. Did make it close. Regardless, GG. Up next, we have our TVZ between Ryung and Young Yakov. Let's go. Let us go, Pat. Predictions going to be paid out, and predictions will soon be opened in the chat for our next series. And this is going to be an interesting one. Ryung, he is kind of the weakest link of Team Vitality, that is true. Solar and Maru are champions, and Ryung is a veteran of the scene. But when it comes to being well-rounded and overall playstyle here, he is a little bit weaker compared to Solar and Maru. Ryung is a TVT sniper. If you remember, last season, Ryung actually got the MVP award. He got the MVP award of WTL 2023, the winter season, because Ryung just shut Clem down time and time again. He did what Maru could not, but this is not a TVT, this is a TVZ. I mean... Meanwhile, shout out to Onside in the chats, tipping $15. Very crazy games today, Papi. They were crazy. I don't know if you were watching, I don't know if you saw, but we were popping off for Firefly. Firefly, he was crazy tonight. He was able to 3-0 Clem. Rex as well did his part. Shout out to Rex. Big shout out to Rex, but here we go. We're diving into our second series, and in the bottom left, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have Young Yakov for Platinum R8. But thank you so much for the 15 USD. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. That is the owner of Onside, for those that are curious. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I just realized that Onside and Team Vitality, they have 2 teams playing tonight, technically. They had Offside and Team Vitality. True. True. Both teams competing tonight. Both teams looking to advance on, but can Platinum R8 keep up? Now, I was just getting into a bit of a rant here about how Ryung is a TVT sniper. That is true. Give Ryung any Terran opponent in the world, and I have a hard time hedging against Ryung there. Whether it's Clem, whether it's Gumiho, whether it's Maru, anyone, Ryung can take it to them in a TVT. His other matchups are a little bit more inconsistent. We have seen Ryung pop off. Like, I will always remember casting Ryung versus Dark. It was like a year ago with Asher. I think it was on Hardlet, if I remember correctly. But Ryung was looking so damn good against Dark. Likewise, we casted Ryung, it was like 6 months ago now, go on a tear in Kung Fu Cup and take down Showtime, take down, I think he took down Hero as well. Like, Ryung, he popped off in TVP. Like, Ryung, like, I don't know what it is, but like every couple of months he goes Super Saiyan and he just pops off and takes everyone down. I can always rely on him in TVT. When it comes to his TVZ and TVP, it's more of like how he feels on the day, you know, how confident does he feel, how practiced is he as well. So I guess what I'm getting at is that this is a good opportunity for Platinum R8 to fight back. It is a good opportunity here for them to try to bounce back and get a point on the board. Or will the Tuna Terran overwhelm? The Tuna, Bobby, the Tuna. Meanwhile, predictions in the chat. Predictions have already opened. Closed, I believe. Best of luck for those that did of course predict. They have closed. So I was just a little bit distracted. And here we go, the Reaper does get across the map, dancing with the army, chipping away at these Lings. Third base is going to be delayed, by the way. The SCV is in position, and the drone forced to morph into a gas geyser. You can see Ryung already on double. This is a very specialized, this is a very iconic trait here of Ryung. He is very quick to go for the third and to deny that expansion for as long as possible. In this matchup, does this every single game against all players, Rainer, Solar, Dark alike. And this is huge. This is a big delay on the third. Oh my god. That is what, 3 cancels on the gas geyser. But finally, Young Yakov will expand, but Ryung, he's done more than enough there at that third base. So very nice aggression there from Ryung. At the same time, Marine moves out. We catch an Overlord as well. As we've lost Ryung. The cam has gone out. Oh no. Looks like we may have lost connection to Ryung's webcam, but regardless, he does pop off here, does supply block Young Yakov. 2 more Overlords on the way. He can't make any drones. Third base is now in production, but it is delayed. A very nice start here for Ryung. He has been able to disrupt and really throw the opener of Young Yakov into flux. It's been a chaotic start for the Zerg. He can recover, of course, but it's not ideal here for Young Yakov. Behind this, it is going to be a 3cc into Banshee, so a very economic follow-up by Ryung into Cloak Banshees. Should have seen our Discord chat when Firefly played them 3 games. Oh my god. I'm jealous, papi. I'm jealous. I'm celoso. I love that if you remember in game after Firefly won game 1, he wasn't too emotional. Like he was a lot more like, you know, a lot more suave, a lot more coy with it after winning game 1. But game 2, that's when the emotions started coming out, man. It was popping up. Beautiful. No. But for now, we're going to be reinforcing with Hellions. Hellions are moving out across the map. Banshees are on the way. We have our stim transition. Third base being taken by Ryung. So pretty standard play here out of Ryung. Just getting into his bio tank. To his bio setup. And we'll see if the Banshees can pull Young Yakov apart. And as the Banshees are soon to be moving out. Nice scout from Young Yakov. He does confirm the Banshee is aware. Oh, Young Yakov getting to an early Hydra Den. That is interesting. 5 minute or just under around 5 minute 10 Hydra Den. Interesting. Okay. Even before his double Evo chambers. So a very Hydra heavy composition here from Young Yakov. We could even try to rush into Lurkers, which we haven't seen that in recent time. I am curious. As the Banshees are getting between the bases, they're going for the drones. There we go, 2, 3 drones go down. At the same time, Hellions, they threaten that third base as well. Lings are in position, we're going for the Queen! Queen taking a lot of hits, but it looks like Young Yakov will defend, he will hold. Deflects those Banshees, Hellions rotating around. Hydras are amassing, we're going into +1 range! Young Yakov, he's going Master Hydra. He's not going for melee, by the way. This is like a Scarlet build. If you remember, a couple of months ago, Scarlet was very fond of going Master Hydra against Terran. It was an interesting style with mixed success. But like, it wasn't even like lurker rushes. It was straight up Hydra rushes as... Ooh, was that a kill? Uh-oh. I think that was a kill on the hatchery. There was no drone there. Thereafter, we catch the Lings as well. Big pickoffs here. Ryung getting a lot done. Cleans up the Lings, shuts down the fourth. We already have Hydra speed. We're getting into Hydra range. We have a couple Lings to reinforce, but mainly Hydra. Now, what's scary here is that if we do realize what's going on, if we go for a tank-heavy composition, then Ling Hydra can struggle. But we'll see how this dynamic plays out. As I'm uncertain if Ryung has actually spotted the main army. There we go, the Hydras are revealed! And that's a lot of Hydras! Yeah, creep is being denied. Tanks, a little bit late to siege there, but the creep at least is receding. Ryung is now aware we have tanks behind this. Okay, we are rushing into lurkers. The hive is on the way. Lurker den has begun. So young Yakov is looking to try to rush into those lunkers. Again, this is a style that's very uncommon nowadays. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this works. See if he can pull this off. Tanks, they did unsiege at the wrong moment. But they do survive. You can see Ryung applying so much pressure here. Rallying tanks across the map. No gases, or he hasn't taken the second gas. Guys are at his third. I believe he's on 8 Raxes. Yeah, Ryung just asserting himself across the map. This is going to be close. Basically, it's purely Marine tank. It's Marine tank with a handful of supportive units. But this is a 3-base all-in from Ryung. No second gas at the third. No second factory. No force CC. Lings, they do force some friendly fire. Not bad. Ryung is being slowed down, and he is not threatening bases. He's threatening creep, yes, but he has yet to push in towards a hatchery. And lurkers have arrived. With the arrival of these lurkers, young Yakov should hold. The contamination on the upgrades. Yeah, young Yakov is expanding behind this. Ryung rotating around. Now he's getting his 4CC. Now we have a second factory on the way. Yeah, Ryung is transitioning. Now we have add-ons on those Raxes. He's pivoting away from his 3-base all-in. Force to take up. A big tank volley is going off. Oh my god, the lurker goes down, and it looks like Ryung has outpositioned young Yakov. Gets a kill in the hatchery. Big pick up. But we even catch a Viper. Again, young Yakov, he was holding on, but he was caught out. Not where he needs to be. Trying to collapse on these tanks, but the tanks able to siege. And big volleys go off. And we get a Dune drop into the main base. Young Yakov is being pulled apart. He did well getting into lurkers, but lurkers are like tanks. They're very positional based. And we're going for the hive. Do we have a transfuse? I'm not sure we do. Hatchery is getting low. Lurkers under fire. And Ryung, he could back off, but no, he just keeps going. He's pushing in. At the same time, dives over the Hydras. Pushing in towards the natural. And young Yakov is being choked out. He just cannot keep up. Not anymore. Sure, the lurkers, they defend the third, but what about the natural? We just ignore the lurkers. We just head towards the natural instead. Push wherever the lurkers are not. And without lurkers at the natural, how do we hold? How do we defend? We don't. Boys are being pulled into Marines. It's a meat grinder. The drones are going down. 20 workers fall. The lurkers, they try to collapse on the tanks, but they have no support. And lurkers are being focused down one after the other. And Ryung, he has done it. He has broken the back here of young Yakov. GG gets called, and Ryung takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Whew, a solid game there out of Ryung. Again, I was very impressed by young Yakov. If you remember, winding it back, young Yakov are back, and we're getting into game 2. side delta. We'll see, we'll see. Or just play standard. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have his opponent, we have Young Yakov for Platinum R8. Let's go. GG the GOAT. He's the tuner, Bobby. He's the tuner. Here we go. Some people have asked before, you know, the story behind us naming our tournament the Sparkling Tuna Cup. It's actually in honor of Ryung. It is called the Tuna Cup because of Ryung. Fun fact. If you don't know, Ryung's Korean name is Dongwon, and Dongwon is a brand in Korea of tuna, like it's canned tuna. So because that in Korean, he's called the Tunatarian, just because it's just a really popular tuna brand, and there's a lot of memes about it. There's a lot of emotes and stuff like that about it as well. And that is one of the reasons why we named our tournament the Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. But for Ryung, Papi, for Ryung. Less than 3. I always remember we had one of the CranKy Ducklings actually go to Korea, and as a cheerful, they had obviously like Tunatarian fighting, and they had a can of tuna actually like taped onto the cheerful in GSL, and they actually won an award for that. I remember they had like a giveaway going at the time for like best cheerful in the GSL crowd, and they got the award. They got a prize. Love to see it. But here we go. So now it's going to be a Rakta Span standard opener here by Ryung. Is a standard opener. Meanwhile, Young Yakov going for a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener as well. We spoke about this in the previous game, how Ryung is very attentive when it comes to delaying the third, and you can see here him doing the same. Ryung, he is very consistent when it comes to doing this. He blocks the gas, by the way, and the drone is going to go down. We're rushing in towards the second gas, guys, but alas, it is too late. Ryung gets a kill on the drone, and we contain Young Yakov to 2 bases. Oh boy. Not the best start here from Young Yakov. You can see him trying to punish the Reaper, but the Reaper does get away. We also invested into 6 Lings. Ooh, that's a lot of Lings. And behind this, Ryung getting into his 3rd CC. Economic follow-up by Ryung. I brought up the Lings just because usually you make 4 to make 6. To make 6 is a big investment. It does eat into your drone count as well. And you can see Ryung rotating around. He's looking for any kind of 3rd, any sign of another hatchery. As there we go, finally, Young Yakov will expand. Drone is on the way. Ryung headed in that direction, but he's a little bit too late, and the hatchery does get up, thankfully, for Young Yakov. It is delayed, but it's there at least. Has been thrown down. Behind this, Ryung getting into his 3rd CC into a 1-1-1. Looks to be another Banshee-based opener. Yep, there's the add-on swap. Once again, Banshees from Ryung. So it's the same build 2 games in a row from our Terran player. Really, my eyes are on our Zerg. If you remember, Young Yakov did go for a very fast Hydroden in the last game. I say very fast, it was around 5 minutes, if you remember. I think it was like 5:20-ish, around that time. And of course, it led into a very Hydra-heavy composition into a Lurker Rush. A very specific build and not seen too often. So I wonder if Young Yakov is going to try to rely on that again, or if we have something else in store for Ryung. As Ryung he does check saturation at the 3rd, he gets into the main base, he's looking for any fast Roach Warren. Doesn't get behind the mineral line, but he does confirm that there's no fast lair at least. So Ryung just scouting, making sure that he doesn't get all in. Making sure that he does not get cheesed out. And here we go, Hellions with the field. This time, that is +1 melee, by the way. That is double Evo Chamber before lair, so Young Yakov, he's now playing standard. I say standard, even cutting some corners here. Double Evo Chamber into a delayed lair, into delayed Banelings. prioritizing those upgrades. This could also mean that young Yakov could go Ling Bane into Ultra, into Hive Tech, or it could just be Ling Bane into Hydra in the mid game. Both are viable, but we are just rushing into those upgrades much faster than normal. And they couldn't get away with it because Ryung did open up 3 CC. There we go. Now we have the Lair on the way. Now we have the Bailey Nest on the way. This time we're not rushing into Hydras like we did previously. Very different plan from our Zerg player, which I appreciate. I appreciate that he's adjusting to Ryung. Banshees have arrived. They get a couple of drones. Ooh, they catch a couple of transferring workers as well. 3 drones go down. Did I say 3? We get 4, we get 5, we get 6! At the same time, Hellions, they threaten the 4th. Good target firing by Ryung. 6 drones and a bunch of creep. And we can see young Yakov going for a big lane counterattack. The Hellions are not at home to defend. We do have a wall off though. Yeah, Marines are in position. Lings, they try to go for the surround. They do! Yeah, the wall was not solid, was not closed. We get the Marines, and do we get the tank? We do not. But the Hellions were forced back home. Not a bad run by. Lings were killed, yes, but at least we forced back the army, the Hellions, and the Banshees, and we also traded against the Marines. As young Yakov is not skipping the Hydra Den. It is Ling Bane Hydra. Now, even though he's getting the Hydra Den, we're not rushing into Lurkers. We're going to be playing with Ling Bane Hydra for most of this game. We can tech towards Lurkers later on down the line, but I suspect that we're not going to be prioritizing it as quickly as possible. As Ryung is pushing. Bearing in mind that Ryung did bleed out a lot of Marines, so this push is actually weaker than it otherwise would be. So he has to take care. Armory is almost done. With the completion of the armory, we can morph in Hellbats. And Ryung does keep his tank back at home. I like this. Normally this push is with 2 tanks, but because we lost so many Marines, Ryung, he keeps his tanks back at home. Only moving out with the Marine Hellion. See Ryung rotating around. His army is spotted by the Changeling. Young Yakov ready for a counterattack as Ryung moves out. Young Yakov following the army. Oh, the Bailings! Not bad. They take down 3 Hellions before they morph into Hellbats. Again, imagine this push with 6 Hellbats instead. Would have been that much more terrifying. But still a hefty force. Ryung pushing in. Takes out some tumors. Young Yakov ready to collapse in the army from multiple fronts. He's looking to flank, and I believe young Yakov, he should have enough. I say that, more reinforcements are on the way. And the tank does reposition. Threatening that 4th base. Marines, they stim in. They catch a queen. And barely the queen goes down. Creep is receding as well. And young Yakov does try to collapse in. But we have reinforcements. We are in position. Bailings, can they connect? Good kiting by Ryung. He does kite away. Bailings are being shut down. And Ryung, he takes the fight. A much better concave. Beautiful kiting. 1 tank goes down. But Ryung is not stopping. He's not slowing down. Again, without creep, it's so difficult to engage. And despite the flank, young Yakov didn't get on top of this, and Ryung is snowballing out of control. 1 good fight is sometimes all you need. And young Yakov is on the back foot. He's hurting. Yeah, he has to evacuate. He knows he cannot save the base. The hatchery is forfeit. Now, thankfully, young Yakov, because he recognizes he can't save this, he's not going to like throw too much away here. He shouldn't. So he dives on the Marines. Decent connections. Gets a tank as well. But once again, we have plenty behind this. Young Yakov will lose the base, bleeds out a lot of his Ling Bane. Still wants to fight though. Wants to as Banshees. Oh, they hit the southern base as well. And Yakov in a lot of trouble. The hatchery does fall. Again, we already knew this, but young Yakov was able to make the most out of that. Banshees, though, they hit the southern base as well. You can see the reinforcements from Ryung. He's up in supply. Denies mining at the 4th. And Ryung, he knows that he has momentum on his side. Young Yakov, he needs more time. Young Yakov needs time to rebuild. So he's stim on forward. Young Yakov, it looks like he will clean up at least 2 of these tanks. But yeah, the southern base is going to go down. The Queens are caught out, the drones as well. Lings are trickling into their death. There's no defense here. And Young Yakov loses so much. Yeah, the positioning is just too good. And we're dropping into the main. Honestly, Ryung could have just killed that 4th, but no, he's going into the main instead. Leaves out a Banshee. Marines that are left behind, they shut down the drones. And there's a reason why Team Vitality are coming in as the favorites. GG gets called. The reigning champions will take the series as Ryung cleans things up with a 4-0. GG. Young Yakov did try to approach this in a couple of different ways. Like, honestly, I kind of liked Young Yakov's position in game 1. I did like it. Unfortunately, he was caught out of position in game 1, but it was a pretty tense game between Ryung and Young Yakov. Here in game 2, it was a little bit more one-sided there. I mean, Young Yakov, he had some moments where he caught reinforcements, where he forced back the army, but that first fight was brutal. That first fight outside the 4th base, off of creep, into a concave, into, was it like 4 tanks, was brutal. It was a brutal moment there, and when Young Yakov lost that fight, he lost the 4th, and that was kind of the beginning of the snowball effect. That was the first domino falling in favor of Ryung, and they did not stop falling. GG, well played. That is going to be a 4-0 here in favor of Team Vitality, but we will still play out the final series. Marvin, less StarCraft, he stepped away a little bit from the game. He's still somewhat active when it comes to EPT. It's comments from Emperor. It's okay, it's okay. It's fine. And here we go, we're getting into our next one. So in the bottom left, we have Maru for Team Vitality. And in the top right, we have Kelazar for Platinum Heroes. Platinum Heroes R8. Let's go. As does every EU Top 5 Pro, every single DreamHack. True, true. Who's better than Maru? Battle B, papi. Battle B. Akedon, they're all better. True. Shaking my head. Ubu Thermal. That's a stronger Terran player. If only he didn't play random. He's just hindering himself. He's doing it for the fans. As we're settling into our TVT, and Kelazar is going to be going for a double gas opener. We have double gas. Oh, both players even. Double gas from Kelazar, double gas from Maru. It's going to be some more safe and aggressive builds here. Eba, the true. I can get behind that, actually. Unironically. Now that you bring it up, I think Maru's number 2 and Eba's number 1 in the world. True. Este Eba. Ay, ay, ay. I'm shaking my head. But yeah, with these double gas openers, it leads into faster factories, leads into delayed command centers, and we should not be taking the gold bases. I should talk about the map a little bit here, but we're loading into Dynasty. Dynasty has a pocket gold base here for both players. It can be a valuable base to take, but it can also be a very difficult base to take. Depending on the matchup, depends on how you want to take it here. In a TVT, I expect us not to expand to that gold until we take it as a 3rd or a 4th base. It is very exposed and very vulnerable. We've seen players time and time again struggle to expand and actually take control of that economy, of that base. We saw it earlier today between Clem and Firefly, where Firefly abused the hell out of Clem when Clem tried to take the gold. The kind of the rule here is that you can take it against Zerg players, but not really against Terran or Protoss. Just because Terran and Protoss, they can much more easily get into ranged units to punish that mineral line. And as we can see here, Maru is expanding at that linear base location. Again, we don't want to take the gold until a 3rd or 4th later on. You don't want to get baited into that gold base. Not too soon. We can see Kelazar doing the same. Does take the natural back at home. does avoid the gold. Behind this, we're getting into our 1-1-1 setup. Maru going for a much faster starport here. Going for his add-ons, delaying his additional Reaper production. So basically what's happening is that Kelazur does invest into Reaper Hellion. Maru skipped additional Reapers and Hellions for add-ons. For add-ons and for production. So Maru doesn't have a lot to work with. He doesn't have much of an army here. Kelazur, can he break through? We can see that Maru, he's got Marines in production as we speak. But that Nash was exposed. The CC does complete in time. And Kelazur is going for it. Going for the mineral line. Maru getting caught out. One Reaper goes down. Rough start already here for Maru. Marines, they do come out just in time. Boys are being pulled as well. And Maru, he does hold on long enough to get that tank. Phew. Again, that was quite clutch here. Very close. There was that window before the tank arrived where Kelazur could have broken through, but with the arrival of the tank, Maru holds. Maru does hold, and Maru, he gets away with a better army. Again, because Maru wasn't spending time making Hellions or making Reapers, Maru's able to much easily get into starport production, tank production, medevacs as well. Maru has that lead. Even catching out these units in the center of the map, picks up a Reaper. Maru not bleeding out anything, and he's pushing behind this. Oh boy. Now, Kelazur does have the defender's advantage, so he does have a tank on the way. Yeah, the tank is out at the natural, in position. Maru diving on the tank here, bold me. He's crazy. Calm down, Maru, calm down. Does have to back off. A little bit too ambitious there as he rotates over towards the main. Tank volley's going to be going off at the same time, though. Kelazur, he does drop across the map. Slips into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. We managed to get 3 workers. Kelazur does take a worker lead. Very nicely done. As we drop in towards the natural, getting another worker. Maru struggling a little bit here again. He did invest quite heavily across the map, which means this drop gets that much more done. Marines, they pick off another SCV. Another 2 SCVs go down. Oh, with the arrival of the cycle, we shut down the drop though. The medevac falls, but Kelazur takes the worker lead. All in all, worth it for Kelazur. Getting 7 SCVs for a drop of Marines. Well worth it for our Red Terran player. And he's in a good position. Kelazur is in a much better position here, going for a 3rd CC. I imagine looking to get into his gold. Meanwhile, Maru, I don't see a 3rd CC in sight. Okay, interesting. Now, because Maru took so much damage, he knows. He knows he took so much damage. He knows that he has lost so many SCVs. We may just double down and go for a 2-base all-in. We got a hefty tank out. We got some Ravens. We can see Kelazur is looking for the gold. Checking for a 3rd. Maru is committed. Behind this, Maru, he is expanding, so he's not all in, but it's a late expansion. Maru needs to get damage done. You see him rotating around. Trying to keep up with the movement of Kelazur. Scans across the map. Oh, that's going to be 5 tanks for Kelazur getting in position. What does Maru have instead? Maru has the Ravens. Kelazur does spot the army. And he's pushing. Okay, he comes back. Spots the army, turns back around. Maru likewise also pivots away as well. Again, TVT is a battle positioning here. It's all about positioning, and Maru does catch a tank for free. Assuming he doesn't lose the cyclone. Yeah. Does pick up a tank. That's a pretty expensive loss for Kelazur. Auto turrets are thrown down, and Maru's going to engage. Does pull back. Ooh. Bleeds out a couple of units. That did cost Maru quite a number of auto turrets. Does retreat. Vikings have arrived. Maru with the Viking lead. It does go for the dive. Almost picks off another tank. Almost. Maru, he has spent a lot of energy already on these auto turrets. And can he siege up in time? Big tank volleys go off. Maru pushing it on top of the tanks, and where's the support? Where are the Marines? There are none here for Kelazur. Maru, he breaks through, gets on top of the tanks, busts into the natural base as well. A very clutch moment there, where Maru was able to catch those tanks. And with that, he has control of the natural. Vikings are going down for Maru, but so many SCVs are falling. And he wants more. The Vikings are coming in from behind. They get the Raven. Yeah, they go for the lane as well. Boys are being pulled. And even if Kelazur survives here, he's lost so much. 27 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. 29 workers even. And behind this, Maru has the gold. That's the other thing I'm a little bit shocked by, is that Kelazur did not take the gold of his own. Took the standard third base. So Maru even more ahead economically. As it may be 3 base versus 3 base, but Maru's 3 bases is not quite like that of Kelazur. As he has the gold, shuts down, even forces back a medevac as well. Ooh, gets a kill. And now Maru, he's building up for a second wave, for a second push, even getting a 4th CC. We have 1-1 on the way, combat shields, additional tank production. Like, honestly, Kelazur had a really good start. Kelazur had a really strong start here to this game. But when it came to the armies engaging in the center of the map, Maru did come out on top. I was worried that he was, again, being a little bit too trigger happy with his auto turrets, but what those auto turrets were doing was they were killing Marines. They were shaving off that Marine count. They weren't killing tanks, which is what I was focused on, but they were killing Marines. That allowed Maru to snowball out of control. And now we're going for a drop. Oh, the tanks on the high ground. Oh my god. The tanks, they just deny any kind of mining here at the third base. This is a brutal position, by the way. Mining is denied. Let me just back off. My god. You see Kelazur trying to catch the medevacs, but alas, we should be able to save them. Yeah, popping up there from Maru. Marines are on the way though. Up, can we catch them? It's so close. The medevacs, they boost away just in time. The tanks are saved. Whew, they got very low. And Kelazur is moving out. Once again, these tanks, they have not been repaired. They're quite vulnerable. As Maru's getting a 4th base. Maru is that dog sitting in a room on fire saying it's fine, and it's actually fine. I love that. That's great. He likes it, Bob. He likes the fire. It's all good. It's supposed to be on fire. So do you see Kelazur going for a drop towards the south? I don't think Maru's quite in position. Does have a center tower though. Has time to react. Tank lines are being set. Kelazur going for the dive into the mineral line. Maru does respond. Nice target firing on the SCVs. We drop over the wall. And this is the damage that Kelazur was looking for. 5, 6, 7, 9 SCVs go. Oh my god, we pull the boys. 13 SCVs go down. Very nicely done here. This will help Kelazur, but this is really just helping him equalize the economy. Kelazur's up in workers, but remember, Maru has the gold, so his lower worker count is more valuable here. Is still keeping up, not exceeding Kelazur. Meanwhile, we may end up going for a base trade here. Kelazur pushing on the left-hand side, but Maru does react. Does react. The tanks a siege though. Yeah, Kelazur's the first to siege. Big tank volleys going off. Maru trying to collapse on those tanks. It looks like he barely will. Oh my god, Maru. Even without tanks, he gets on top of the army, cleans up most of the forces of Kelazur, and you can see him plummet in supply. Vikings land, tanks get cleaned up. Kelazur throwing everything away. And I don't blame him. Again, he was the first to siege. He had the high ground. Everything was supposed to be in favor of Kelazur there. But Maru, with the higher Marine count, he was able to break through, stim on forward. Now, this does mean that Maru, you can see he barely has any Marines. He lost all of his Marines in that last fight. Mainly tank here. But it is enough. The power of the man with gun. As now Maru, he's pushing across the map. And there's not much to stop him. There are 0 tanks for Kelazur. Can he pull up Maru? I mean, he is. Takes down 2 tanks, not bad. But only 2. As Maru just keeps on pushing. Does not stop. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. CC goes down. And Maru snowballing out of control. GG gets called. Well played. And Maru takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A pretty back and forth, actually. Again, I did like Kelazur's position early on. Like, he had, I want to say, a better early game there. Able to pick off a lot of workers, able to shut down the initial push of Maru. Kelazur was ahead, and Maru, if you remember, he stayed on 2 bases a little bit longer. He massed up his army. He delayed his third. As we have a map of choice, we're going into Ghost River. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have a Team Vitality. It is Maru. And in the top right, we have Kelazur for Platinum R8. Let's go. Steelmold and Chase, a dynamic duo. They did cast a couple of times together. That is true. That is true. We have some clips for that. We have clips. Road to the first perfect sweep of the event. Have we... Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We have not had a 6-0. We came close. We did come close between Offside and Mystery Gaming, but Firefly did put a point on the board last week. Not something that we have had yet, but here we go. Kelazur going for a proxy across the map. Okay, so it's going to be 2 racks. It's going to be 2 racks Reaper out of Kelazur. With this 2 racks Reaper, if Maru is too greedy, he can be caught out, but we're loading into Ghost River. I don't imagine Maru ever not going for a double gas opener. And there it is. 2 gases here from Maru, is going for the factory. If Maru had gone for a racks expand, then he would be in some trouble, but again, with that faster factory, it comes down to the control. It comes down to the micro, and Maru does have the tools to defend. So a cheeky move there by Kelazur. Likewise, this could also keep him safe against any other aggression from Maru as well. Factory is on the way for our blue Terran player, and Reapers are in production. Now, Kelazur has to be careful, very careful with his Reaper movement here. Doesn't want to throw anything away, as the Reapers are amassing, moving out across the map. Oh, Maru does move out as well. Does not run into the Reaper. Uh-oh. As Maru, he does shoot first. But the second Reaper is soon to arrive. We do save the Reaper. Big moment here for Kelazur. And a nice smile as well on cams. First Reaper going down is massive, and Maru, he's in trouble. Did get caught out, is in trouble. SCV gets shut down as well. We do delay the expansion. Maru has to buy time. Boys have to be pulled. Boys are being pulled. SCV is not quite going down. Good control here to Maru, saving every single worker. Oh my god. Bappy. Doesn't lose any extra SCVs. Hellion has arrived. Boys are pulled to repair each other. And now Maru can expand. Kelazur, though, trying to deny that expansion. Oh. Hellion takes some hits. We can repair. Now we're up to 2 Hellions. Kelazur rotating into the main instead. And behind this, he's transitioning into a factory and a starport. That is not a CC. Not for Kelazur. We're not stopping Reaper production either. Kelazur, it looks like he's going for a 1 base all-in. Yeah, he's getting into Cyclone production. Reactors on the way on that Rex. Yeah, no CC. It's all or nothing for Kelazur. Straight up 1 base all-in. Big Hellion bullies going off in his army, though. Oh, Reapers are being shut down. Maru has to be careful. His Hellion's getting low. We dive in. We focus one down. And Kelazur has control of the low ground. Cyclones on the way for both players. There it is, CC from Kelzer. Okay, so he's not all in, but that is a very delayed CC. Kelzer is committed. But at least Maru's command center isn't done. So Kelzer trying to catch up in the economy. Following this up with a drop. Going for a Cyclone drop into the main. I imagine. Whew, and we need to take stock for a minute. We need to calm things down. Oh, Kelzer double expanding. Okay, this I can get behind. This makes sense. So because Kelzer's natural is so late, bam, straight into a third CC. So Kelzer double expanding here. To catch up, not just to catch up, but to overtake Maru in that economy. It is a risky move. It is greedy. But he catches a Hellion. Good move here from Kelzer. Rotating towards the main base. Tank is in position and the drop was spotted. Yeah, big tank volley goes off. And that is a third CC on the way from Maru. So Maru is going to be able to keep up the economy here of Kelzer. Good control out of Kelzer as well. Diego gets a Marine. Not bad. Gets a Marine, pulls back. Now what's important here is that Maru's third CC timing is not too far behind that of Kelzer. So we have pretty comparable economies here. The economies are comparable. Kelzer coming back home, going to be repairing up his Cyclones. Going to be topping them up here. And the game is calming down. We're calming things down. We're amassing Ravens. We're amassing tanks, getting into our production. Kelzer is the first to expand and take his third. Maru, a couple of seconds behind. Drop into the main. Oh! Tank volley is going to be going up. Kelzer not losing anything. What's a little bit worrisome here is that Kelzer is spending energy on his Raven. He hasn't achieved too much with it. Which means that much less to defend when Maru eventually moves out. Does have to be careful. Maru is getting into Viking production, still doubling down on tanks. Likewise, so is Kelzer. No one is playing mech, for example. Just straight up bio tank here from both players. As Maru has yet to take his third. His army is spotted by the rack, so Kelzer knows he could try to drop into the main. Still has those Cyclones lying in wait. The main army is moving out. Kelzer trying to apply pressure to the third. Scans the main base, spots the Vikings, backs off. But here comes the main army towards that third base of Maru. Maru not in position, by the way. Doesn't see the army. Big disables. One tank does unsiege, the other gets caught out. Good pick up there by Kelzer. Good reaction by Maru, preserving his tank. Drop into the main. Maru, he was pulled out of position. SCVs are going down. And auto targets are being wasted as well here. Quite a lot, actually. We will clean this up, not without losing 5 SCVs. And there's only 1/3. On this map, there's only 1/3 base to take, so Maru has to wait until the army backs up. Pushing back in. And after that move, Kelzer is ahead in economy. He's ahead in SCVs, ahead in his overall income. Has a slight army lead. It is 4 Ravens versus 4 Ravens. This time, though, Maru, he's ready for it. Up. Is ready. Is in position. Kelzer rotating around. Kelzer getting his 4th on location. I like it. I mean, Kelzer has map control, so it may as well expand in such a way. Getting ready for 2-2 with that armory. Maybe going for some auto target harass. Gets a couple of SCVs. Ooh, one Raven goes down though. That was not worth it. It's one of the first big slip-ups here from Kelzer this game. Throwing away a Raven for one SCV. Did fly too close to the sun, did get burned. And Ravens are so valuable in TVT. Like, on the one hand, TVT is very much so positional based, that is true, but Ravens counteract that because they can disable. Even if you get caught out of position, can disable tanks, you can take a fight anyway. So Kelzer has to be careful. Takes down some turrets. Rocks are being knocked down. Can we push in towards that natural? I mean, that tank line is brutal. It's but eventually Kelzer does have to move out from here. Maru waiting for that moment. Almost gets a medevac. Cyclone harass across map. Planetary is not done. Kelzer backing off completely. It does race back home. To be fair, I feel like this was the time to back off. He got the gas geyser, got some turrets. Didn't want to overstay his welcome. Kelzer does take a supply lead. Again, with a better economy earlier, does lead to a larger army. Again, that's 7 tanks with the main army of Kelzer. 7 tanks, 1-1. Kelzer getting into even double armory upgrades. Okay. Buffing up his tanks. And Kelzer's maxed out. He's up almost 40 supply. Now is the time. Now again, even though he has a supply lead, it's difficult to push into siege tanks. It's very difficult. Even with Ravens, that's where the Vikings come into play. So in TVT, it is a little bit easier to just turtle up. And you can see Kelzer, he recognizes that maybe he cannot push in, so he's expanding. I like this. Even though Kelzer has 200 supply, even though he can't really make use of his army, he's still expanding, making use of his map control, taking up, working on more upgrades. That second armory, for example. So Kelzer's getting ahead in other ways. And he's going for a split push. We have tanks towards the south, Marines towards the north. Maru, can he keep up? I'm not sure he can. Yeah, reduce siege in time. Ravens going for the auto turrets. They catch us some tanks. Yeah, a lot of... Oh my god, so many tanks going down. For Ravens. Kelzer, he just threw away, I want to say, like 7 to 8 tanks there. And Maru, he's evening up the supplies a little bit here. He is bouncing back. It did cost him Ravens, though, to be fair. It did cost him a lot of Ravens. It is important to point out that Kelzer did retain his own. But Maru is back in this. Of course, Kelzer has map control and he has a better economy. That is all true. But Maru is bouncing back. Yeah, 2 more starports on the way. Maru is getting ready for Sky Terran. Late game TVT is all about Vikings, Ravens, Liberators, even BCs at the very late game. So we need to maintain that Viking lead, that air control. Kells are stuck with mainly a bio army, at least out on the map. That's a lot of Marines. As he is rotating around, even getting a turret in the center of the map. Okay, a sensor tower. And Kelzer, he will see everything. Does dive up the ramp. Tries to at least the choke point is brutal though. Oh, a lot of Marines going down. A lot of Marines stuck behind the Sim City. Does get a kill in the CC, but that was a questionable fight. And you can see Kelzer plummet in supply. That was not what he was looking for there. And that was an anti-timing. He's finishing up 3-3 in 5 seconds. So a brutal anti-timing for Kelzer. Throws away a lot of Marines. You can see Maru suddenly takes the supply lead. You can see he killed 1 tank. That was 37 Marines for 1 tank. Oh my god. Kelzer a little bit trigger happy there, and yeah, Maru, he's back in this 100%. It's things have evened up now. Kelzer was ahead for a long time. It still has a higher base count at least. But Maru has clawed his way back into this. Again, that was 37 Marines for 1 tank. I mean, at least he got a CC, got a command center. Maru pushing forward. Gets an anti-armor missile off. Forcing back the army. To have the siege. Okay, good control out of Maru. Takes down the turrets, takes down the medevac. Did pull back in time. Let's take some tank shots to the face. But Maru, he's after winning that fight earlier, finally he can be active on the map. He can dance here with Kelzer. Taking down more turrets. Kelzer getting in position. Actually, Kelzer going for the natural. You can see him with a second force out there. But he is spotted. At the same time, he does push up towards the south. Does disable the tanks. Nice catch here from Kelzer. Very nicely done. Takes down 2 tanks. Takes down a 3rd. He went a lot of Vikings. I think it was 1 Viking going down. So a nice catch from Kelzer. 3-3 now finishing up for Maru as he was behind in those upgrades. Now he catches up. Kelzer has his half of the map up and running. Maru is about to get his. Again, Ghost River, I didn't get to mention it earlier, but is the smallest map in the map pool. I mean, already every base has been taken. And it doesn't take long at all to move out across the map. The rush distance by ground is very short from one half to the other. It's very much so more of a vertical map than anything. So it is very tense. You have very little time to react here. Good anti-armor missiles here on both armies. And Maru gets caught out a little bit there. Tank goes down. 2 tanks go down. Strong position for Kelzer. He does keep pushing. Maru split a little bit thin. Vikings, they commit. Well, the Ravens commit. Auto turrets are being thrown down, but the disables are brutal. Kelzer forcing his way up the ramp. The planetary does hold. And the tanks are coming. Yeah, a massive wave of tanks. We go for the disables. It looks like Maru, he should be able to hold on. We need more auto turrets. We get the counter disables instead. Yeah, the constant disables on these tanks. And Maru, again, he should be able to hold on to this. He is running out of Vikings though. The Viking count getting very low for Maru. And Kelzer, he barely does take control of the air. Forces back the Ravens. Marines are trickling in. This is getting close. Kelzer, can he break this? It looks like he might be able to. Again, the battle in the sky went in favor of Kelzer. Maru coming in with more Vikings. Oops. Does force Kelzer back, even going for the Ravens. Auto turrets do send him away. Maru going for a suicide drop here on top of the tanks. Takes down 1. Takes down 2. Does manage to catch 2 tanks. Nicely done. And the sables are thrown down. Tanks are in position. Kelzer cannot quite push up this ramp. Can barely not. That was an intense fight. It was very back and forth. For a moment, it looked like Maru would hold, then Kelzer was breaking through. Maru does hold in the end. Kelzer with a slightly better vehicle weapon upgrades, or vehicle armor upgrades, I should say. See Maru trying to shut down some of the vision here of Kelzer. Going for the turrets, going for the towers. Kelzer rotating over towards that natural. Maru trying to keep up. You see how difficult it is to be the defending player here on Ghost River. You have so little time to react. And here we go, Kelzer, he sims up. Does him off the ramp, heading straight for the natural. Yeah, the Mass Marine should get a kill in the orbital. And Maru's gonna have a hard time dealing with this. It is overstimmed, that's a lot of Marines. Oh, the tanks do walk into their death there. And the Marines, they take down the CC. They go for a starport as well. They honestly don't get too much here. The upgrades are a little bit vulnerable, but yeah, we clean this up. Maru not looking too bad, but he is out of position and we can take down these tanks. Now what's scary here is that Kelzer threw away all his Marines. And you can see he has no Marines with his army. No buffer, no support. Raven goes down. Maru, I believe, has the Viking lead, but he does have an does have an anti-armor missile in his entire army. That does push forward. It cleans this up. Maru, for the first time in a long time, takes the supply lead. Yeah, that Marine dive from Kelzer, it was tempting, but not so sure that was quite worth it here. As for the first time this game, Maru is actually attacking. This entire game, he's been defending. He's been stuck on the back foot, defending over and over again, keeping up with the movements. We could go for a base trade. Maru's pulling back though. He denies mining at the center base, he's pulling back. Kelzer does outposition Maru. Or does he? There are tanks left behind. But they're going to be cleaned up. Yeah, 3 tanks go down, good pickoffs. And once again, Kelzer is going for the main. He's aiming to go for the main base. Yeah, auto tucks to throw down, disables on the tanks as well. And Maru, he's cleaning this up completely. Kelzer was so committed here and he loses everything. The Marines, the tanks. Yeah, that fight was just a little bit too chaotic there in favor of Maru. Good moves with the Vikings from Kelzer. Meanwhile, Kelzer, he lost that CC. The center base did go down. Vikings coming in. Vikings, they do dive in, and it looks like the air battle going in favor of Maru here. Say that Marines are here to support. Kelzer is trying to hold on, bleeding out a lot of Vikings though. He's down to 3, down to 2 Vikings. And Kelzer losing the battle in the sky. Tanks are pushing forward. Maru gets a tank. Marines going down. Kelzer now on the back foot. I mean, again, it's been a pretty intense back and forth between the 2 players. Props to Kelzer. Mentioned before, there's a reason why Kelzer, he has kind of surpassed Special this past year of play, this last year of StarCraft. In his own region. Kelzer has been able to hold his own against Maru of all players. Very impressive. But it does feel like Maru has quite an advantage right now, and Kelzer, he needs to try to bounce back. BCs are on the way. The battle cruisers, they're coming. Maru making 2 BCs at a time, working on +3 ship weapons. +3 vehicle plating as well. And that is the late game. That is the end game here for TVT, is battle cruisers. That is what you want. They shoot up and they shoot down. It's crazy. Really nice on sieges there from Kelzer. Likewise, the counter disables as well. Maru trying to force his way up the ramp. Kelzer has retaken this base. Once again, more disables. Maru backing off. And honestly, Maru doesn't have to force the issue. If he just chills out, buys time, he had the better economy for a little bit longer here, more recently. So he can just wait and get into BC production. As, yeah, that battlecruiser cannon's rising. Line the turrets as well. Maru just securing his half of the map. There we go, does push forward. We'll bleed out some of those Banshees, sorry, some of those Ravens though. The Viking count in favor of Kelazur. But here come the BCs. Yamato goes off. One BC goes down. Again, we have not hit critical mass of BC yet. It's 13 Vikings versus 17 from Kelazur. Yeah, Mara has to back off. Or can't take this fight. Another Raven goes down. But Kelazur pushing in a little bit prematurely. His reinforcements just now arrived. Here come more BCs. Suddenly, Maru takes a Viking lead. It's 15 Vikings versus 10. And here we go. The BCs gaining ground. Shutting down those Ravens. Shutting down the Vikings as well. You can see they do such a great job of just tanking shots. We get the Yamato off, and Kelazur is being broken. I mean, Maru, he's kind of reached that win condition of Battlecruiser. It wasn't an easy road for Maru, but GG, well played, gets called, and Maru will take the 2-0 over Kelazur. GG, well played. But a shout out to Kelazur, because that was a game. That was a series. Out of all of these best of twos, I do think that Kelazur and Maru was the closest out of all of them, which is impressive. And Kelazur did not look bad. He did not look bad at all against Maru. He was holding his own. In game 1, Kelazur was even ahead. Even here in game number 2, there were moments where Kelazur was ahead as well. It was Maru, both games, where he was clawing his way back from the brink. And he barely did. So even though this was a 6-0, a lot of these games were very close and well played. Well played to Platinum Heroes and R8 Esports. Well played to the opponents of Team Vitality. Team Vitality, of course, they take it 6-0 in the end. The first team to get a 6-0, but well played to the opposing team. GG. GG, GG. Well played. Whew. With that, we have tomorrow's matches. Tomorrow is going to be Starlight Twinkle versus Mystery Gaming and Shopify Rebellion versus Twisted Fairy. Oh boy. Again, this was merely day 1. This was merely day 1 of round 2. Tomorrow, of course, will continue, and we'll have day 3 thereafter. 3 days straight of WTL every single week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mark your calendars. Set your alarms. Every day over the weekend, we have some WTL action. So with that, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We had some amazing matches here tonight. Not just this banger of a TVT that we just wrapped up with, but we also had Ryung popping off against Young Yakov. We had Solar Series versus Goblin, where Goblin wasn't looking too bad either. Remember, Goblin, he went for a Tempest Rush in game 1. He was crazy. Went for a Tempest Rush into a 3-base all-in. Game 2 was another 3-base all-in from Goblin as well. And even before that, with Team Liquid versus Offside, we had an upset. We had an insane upset with Offside taking down Team Liquid as well. It was a wild series. Firefly popping off, proving to be the ace, or of course, proving himself to be the ace player of Offside. Not just that, but even taking down some of the best players in the world. He 3-0'd Clem. Not even just a 2-0. He 3-0'd Clem, Papi. Crazy, crazy. So, again, very well done here by Firefly. Again, I always knew he could take maps, but even I didn't fully have faith in a 3-0. So, very impressive stuff there. I was so sure it was going to be Cure in that ace match, not Clem. So, very impressive there. And a shout out to Offside and Team Vitality and Onside for their performances. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We are done here for the night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for day number 2 of WTL. Not just that, but tomorrow we have another tournament as well. It's going to be Sea Duckling Open. Sea Duckling Open is also going to be showcased here tomorrow in less than 24 hours, so make sure you're a part of that. Otherwise, thank you so much. We'll see you guys for C Duckling Open and WTL tomorrow. !socials in the chat if you guys want to have a look at our social media. If you want to follow us, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We are all things CranKy Ducklings. See you guys tomorrow. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Take care, everyone. Take care.